Alright. Week 3 already. Tuning in. Milano doing the national anthems. This game's gonna be something. One of them has to win, surely. That's the expectation, is surely one of them has to win. I'm still favouring Helvetic. I think they've kind of got it. Not in the bag. Oh, damn, that audio from the commentator sounds very weird. Alright, there we go. Let me get up everything sorted as per usual. Mercenaries in white. I'm expecting Anthony fucking Brown to kind of go off. I'm expecting Carlton Aiken to get an absolute ton of yardage. I'm expecting Aiken to run rabid. I struggle to see where Milan are going to get points from, to be completely honest. I mean, they've scored 7 points. They got a new offensive coordinator. QB hasn't got close, particularly. Running game hasn't worked. I mean, it's going to be entertaining. I think it will be an entertaining game because, like I said, one of them has to win. Let me just put up all the stuff on the socials just so we're all good. Oh, I should have sent myself my own thing. I mean, I like Silas, so I'm not going to say screw Silas. I like Silas. I do think the Mercenaries are going to win. Yeah, I think it should be quite convincing. I'm going to put like a poll up. I think the poll can last like the whole time. Yeah. Just so we can get like people come in and out. They can decide. I'm going to put Mercs and Seamen. And then just the winner. Just so people can go in and out. And we'll have a look. I have put Marquise Manning on the sheet because I didn't have time to change it. He has been announced not playing this game. So Milan have just got worse. And the Anthony Brown's going to be on a European corner. So, you know, yeah. I can't see Anthony Brown not going for big yardage. I still haven't put the actual stuff to say I'm live on the thing. What I was going to do is send myself my own thumbnail just so I can actually use that rather than just like a screenshot of something. They're still doing the coin toss as well, so we got a little bit of time. We did do a lot of runs. I'm seeing Madrid. We'll get to Madrid at some point, I'm sure. Surprising, shocking the world. Biggest, some people calling it the biggest upset in ELF history. I think it's a valid point, to be honest. Yeah, is it? Oh shit! Speaking of which, just pressing the highlights by accident. It's going to be up there for sure. Or Zach Blair. I feel bad for Zach Blair. He's been so good. Like, he's really went under the radar as a superb player this year, especially. Hopefully you can't hear the audio of the actual game. Do let me know if you can. It's a little bit sound. I think his mic or something isn't quite lined up, so it kind of sounds like he's underwater. They're in Milan, so they do have the home field advantage. Is that going to help? I don't know. We're yet to really see another receiver make plays other than AFB. But for Milan, we haven't seen anyone. The Bravo Bullies. Not bad. I still think they could have went with Stars. I was a really big fan of the Madrid Stars. I thought that would be so sick. 'Cause that's like their flag. I really like death. I sent to a few of my group chats. Death taxes and don't bet against the Rhine Fire. And it kind of backfired. Like they did really well. Like. They did really well. Like, they kept very calm. Willie did a pretty good job of quarterback, all things considered. Dwayne, I thought was tiring at the start of the second half, and absolutely wasn't. Like, he was completely fine. but I thought he was tiring for a second, and he absolutely proved me wrong on that. I still haven't shared the links. I've been so busy just talking that I haven't actually shared the links out. Just so I can promote it slightly. And they haven't kicked off yet. They're about to. I think Anti-Brown goes for 202. I think. Yeah, Barcelona have disappointed me. I really thought Levi Lewis would be one of the best, to be honest, and he's kind of looked fine. Not really much to write about, but Milan are going to get the offense first. We'll see the new look Milano Seamen offense, see how it looks, see if it's any good. Let me add in the Twitter link as well. Bronkhurst, new OC. The Raiders offense looks a lot better than it did a couple of days ago. I was quite surprised at that. The offensive line actually looks alright. No. I'm gonna be real. Yeah, they lost. Ryan Fire have ripped their receiver core is shredded. But like someone pointed out to me, like they're not the only team that has injuries, which is reasonable. I mean, Vienna are going to go in without a quarterback. They're probably the first team to start a homegrown in a position for years. Surely, I can't remember the last homegrown that started for a team. It definitely hasn't been this year. I don't think it was last year. Jeremy Mindoffer, centre. Yeah, he's a very good player. Because they had Isaiah playing it there for a minute. I thought Ken Hike just picked that off. I told him not to look at Ken Hike. They've not been watching my videos. I said don't even look towards Ken Hike's overall place. Ken Hike area is off limits. Don't go there. It's not safe. It's not safe. I think I will go for... they're above Cologne. They're above Hamburg. They're maybe above Galaxy. I think they're probably above Galaxy at the moment. There's Bronkhurst again nearly getting picked off by Strater. It's not really looking better, is it? Yeah, Jan probably was. Yeah, I think he was. But he only came in last season for injuries. Was it? Yeah, when Hennessy went down and they had a couple of people come through, like Jan and fucking Allen. So Milan 4 and out immediately. Nearly 2 interceptions to start the first drive. Not great. Madrid have flown up the power rankings. So Madrid go over the Raiders. Nearly blocked. Madrid go over the Raiders. Madrid go over Hamburg. Unless Hamburg pull off a win tomorrow. So the AFB, the red sleeves. Galaxy are not beating Paris. Like Galaxy, I don't see any way in hell Galaxy beat Paris. And that might be a bit harsh. But I generally think that Paris are like one of the best rosters in Europe. Even with the GFL stupid import rules. Maybe if Milano and Barcelona into one franchise, they could have 1,000 people. That's brutal. Brutally true. That's the thing about having 2 Spanish teams. It's a bit difficult. And Milan isn't like... They hadn't won it for a couple seasons before they went into the ELF. Do you feel like someone like Florenzi? There's AFB already dropped it. I really want the league to acknowledge AFB as a thing. Like I really want them to acknowledge it, even if they just put like AFB. I really think the league need to acknowledge it. Yeah, I don't really watch the pre-game stuff, to be honest. I was out for like the first half of the Madrid game. So people were messaging me like, "Ah, oh, Madrid, you know they're winning." And I'm like, "I'm not watching the game," so I had to like fast forward through a lot of it. Just like watch play, skip 10 seconds, watch play, skip 10 seconds. Caught back up in the second half. AFB running the ball a little bit. Does that count towards his 200-yard stat? But they're already edging into the into Milano territory, which is not good news for them. Yeah, fair enough, man. I can't see a way that they beat Paris. There's AFB again, just constantly to him. Like running backs, I think is the only position you could argue that Hamburg have the advantage, and Sandro even has started slowly. If you've got Jordan Denmark, he's playing running back. You know, how you really meant to stop that? And the defensive line, and we saw they kind of struggled with Glenn, with just the size on their O line and D line, struggled with Glenn and linebackers. Taking a shot already. Yeah. Oh, that's a hell of a fucking catch. That's a hell of a catch. Who was that? Was that the French receiver? I can't tell. No, French receiver's 12. Who was that? Number 10. Oh, let me resort to ELFopedia. That's Milan's Spiller. Great name to score on Milan, by the way. Jeez, alright. I mean, damn. They didn't call it a touchdown? They're just going to run this in, surely. A can draw. Ooh, stuff short. Kevin K with a tackle. Flag, so. Like, Galaxy are good, but pound for pound, I still favour Paris. I also think that Paris schematically are a lot more difficult for everyone else to deal with. So that's what I wanted. I wanted just a bunch of people here. I don't have to talk every minute. Like, you guys can just have your own conversations. I just wanted this to be a watch long. It'd be great if I can get like a few of the ELF players in here at some point. So much. They're manning up on AFB. It worked. It worked. Because now they got Parole. I think that's how you say his name. Number 23. So they have improved on the defensive back front. But they're without Marquise. And being without Marquise is huge. I think Paris take it by 2 possessions. Frankfurt are my most overrated team. Torino down to like the 2. I do think that Frankfurt are my most overrated team. Are they still a contender? Yes. But like, they're not Paris, they're not Fire, they might not even be Madrid. Like, I am shocked that Madrid won, obviously. I really didn't think they'd win. I thought they'd get beaten quite convincingly. But when you think about how good the Dragons were, with a lot of the same players, it's not like... that's why I disagree with Alex when Alex said it was like the biggest upset of all time. Because the 2021-2022 Dragons were a very, very good team. With Zach winning like the MVP, or not winning MVP, but won the Offensive Player of the Year. Sweet. That was a good team. Willie Patterson's a baller. Dwayne Obi is better than the running back they had back then. I think I got the cash to facilitate that one, big man. I'm not going to lie. Unless these streams start going absolutely berserk, I don't think I've got the facilities for that one. They're manning up a lot. Milan. He parole out. High ball. There he is. AFB. AFB. I followed him yesterday. Like some of the players I forget to follow. I followed Brown yesterday, so I'm hoping that he now knows we call him. That's a great concentration play. Look at it. Oh my god. Look at that concentration on the ball though. That's elite level receiver play. That's incredible. Hey, that's a perfect throw by Aiken to get it just over the fingertips. And then like just a draw. That's incredible. That might be one of the catches of the week. He's so good, man. I don't think that they'll dumb now. They've got so many injuries though. Like I was talking to a couple of people in the organisation, they just have a lot of injuries. So without Brown Winter in that game, they're without Sagner in that game, they're without McKnight, obviously he's on injury reserve. Haaland still banged up. It's 4 receivers. Jay, of course, didn't have the greatest of games. He threw 2 picks. Look at that. Look at that throw and that catch. That's beautiful. Sorry, man. you had to I'm trying my best to describe it for you. Just think of a corner route from the slot and trips left. Man coverage all across the board. Finger just goes 2 inside routes. AFB on the outside corner. Just perfectly over the fingertips of the inside routes into the hands of AFB. In the back corner of the end zone. Fast score. Now when I get back on the ball with that offense. Thank you very much, Marcus. Right, Milano 27. Second look of this new offense that nearly threw 2 picks in the first drive. I think it's coming, boys. I think we're getting a pick. Yeah, that's what I like having more people. You know, it's a small channel. Live streams aren't everyone's thing. Most people just kind of want to watch it privately. I was just gonna watch the tape anyway, so I may as well watch it with a couple other people and get some more content on the channel anyway, and give some more unhinged takes. Ooh. Brockenhurst roll left, taking a shot up. Stop throwing it to Ken Hike. It's another deflection for Ken Hike. Stop throwing it to Ken Hike. It's like the 3rd time they've tried to test him. I don't know what they're thinking. This is extreme. They cannot have seen something on tape that made them think, I'm going to go at Ken Hike one-on-one. Just a deep shot left to Flores Calderon. Hike had him all day. Yeah, we talked about this a second ago, actually. It was a crazy game, but like, I was talking about the Dragons a couple years ago. We're such a good team. They made it to like, they made it to the semis? Oh, Brockenhurst with a couple yards to his legs. Not much though. Like 7. They hit there. Yeah, like, the Dragons had all these great players a couple years ago, and it's a lot of the same players on this team. So, I think it's the first time. I'm not sure if this is correct. I think it is though. This is the last loss the Rhine Fire had since they lost to the Leipzig Kings. I think. I need a fact check, but I'm pretty sure that's right. They haven't lost since they lost to the Kings. Yeah, JFC needs more. Yeah, but they're like I'd made in that video about JFC, they only play him at X. They never move him around. And when I did my one on Catspa, if you haven't watched that already, I'm sure you have, but they used him on a variety of routes all over the field. But with JFC, he never moves off of that outside left side. Whatever, like schematically, people call it different things. Sometimes the X moves. He always is just on that left side. and he's not a number one receiver. He's a great receiver, he is, but he's not as good as AFB, for example. And Ken Hike's going to be able to lock anyone in this league up. Oh, there's shares. Yeah, it's covered again. I watched how many games I watched when I did a Flores Calderon one. I think I might have the notebook. I don't think I have the notebook on me. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I have 10 notebooks underneath my desk of just like, some of it is tape, some of it's just like route combinations. Like Katzber's one, with just his routes. I think I watched 7, 8, maybe 9 games of Flores Calderon, and they did not move him off of X. Ever. I was generally trying to find times where they used him a little bit more. And he's great in that role. But you can't expect him to beat Ken Hike one-on-one 5, maybe 6 times a game. It's not going to happen. Ken Hike is a premier corner. Or premier corner. Yeah, they do look a little bit like twins. I mean, the offense is got a couple of yards, which is honestly more than previous weeks. Yeah, it was a 16-game win streak. I think the last loss was to the Kings, obviously over a year ago. And since then, they've had 45 points a game and blown everyone out of the water. I don't think they took Madrid lightly. I just think they had a lot of injuries to key positions, and Madrid are very evidently the best Spanish team. I think if you take the Dragons team, all the Spanish guys, maybe 2, 3 would make it onto the starting team. More the short passes. Not very much coming off of them though. 2 or 3 yards each time. I think they need to restructure the imports. That's what I would do. Patrick Harting's been in, or has it just been Puda? If they play with one American, that's insane. I thought they were... Yeah, no, Patrick Carr's on the sidelines. They rotate Puda in a lot because Puda is quite a lot like Carr. Not as good, but in terms of the skill set, he's a similar player to Carr. Passing a lot more. For better or for worse. Like, I think they need to shift the imports. American running backs don't work. Everyone's tried to tell them. I know, Jamal, you disagree with that, but, like, you need an American receiver. Flores Cadwell was wide open there, though. Like, you can. I don't think there's an ELF team that will ever win a championship without an American receiver. Obviously, Q is expected. I think that eventually we will have a team go into the season without an American quarterback. Give it 3-4 years, that could be the UK, honestly. If none of you know about Justin Glowacz, he's a quarterback at Ole Miss at the moment, British. At Ole Miss. Former Eastern Illinois quarterback, played at Darlington Steam and Gateshead Senators before going to high school in America. So he's a British player, and if he joined like a Monarchs team, if it were to happen, he could be a starting quarterback and you could have 2 A's at receiver. Can you imagine? But I believe he's a sophomore. I think it's important in every position to be lean on A's. Yes, but have great backups, of course. Of course. If I'm building a Monarchs team now, and I have Justin, I would maybe experiment with 2 A's on the receiver, just because he would be at Ole Miss and he is a really good quarterback. If I'm not without Justin, I'm having American A, obviously at Q, in having an American receiver because the UK receivers are not great. There's a couple. Gracie Ellsbrook in Dresden. Very good player for a receiver. So we've been done. Yeah, they did. They had Cisse at quarterback. But also, they had like an amazing run game. They ran the hell out of that ball. Madrid are well coached, physical. Yeah, yeah. Like the Madrid team's really good. Offensive line is really good. They built well with imports in the offensive line. They got one of my British boys. They got Burgess. There's actually two Burgess brothers. In case you didn't know, the other was in Dresden. I expect him to be in the ELF at some point. Both of those on one offensive line would be fucking terrifying. And they got Ngami at centre. They got Robin Finch, who's a former All-Star. They got a great Spanish receiver core. Willie's a game changer. Still a baby in track and ELF, but how many teams play, say, 2 keepers in the game without injury? They might, if it's like garbage time. I know the Vikings did it last week. The Vikings played number 12, I can't remember his name, but they played him at the end. But then also Ben Holmes got injured. Yes, Cisse and Mac. But Mac's probably the best backup quarterback in the league. Is Colton again taking a medium shot, and he got picks to be fair. But Cisse has now moved to defensive back. It's Fantin. I need to do more. Those eval videos don't necessarily do as good as the watch time and the views, but I do love making them. How the hell did Vic score? Outside, who do you think, Alex? who do you think? I'll give you a one guess. Barcelona Drags pass defense is. Let's say pass defense is horrible. Yes. Which is surprising. I think it's the safeties because Khaled's a really good corner. And Shelton's a good corner. They got Fencher at safety, and someone else could return here by Milan. Got past midfield. There's Gabby, my guy 26, Gabby Battistella. I thought Cisse moved to DB. Oh, is he going to get called down? I know Cisse moved for a second to DB. You're probably right though. He probably did move back over. But I thought for a minute I know that he moved to DB. Like he tried to transition to DB. But I would like to see. I think the UK probably has the best chance of having a like a championship contender with a non-A at Q. Germany, maybe if they got Alex Honig, but he's a tight end now, but he was a quarterback. Yeah, man, should have guessed. He is inevitable. It was a beautiful catch too. You'll see it on the ELF highlights, I'm sure, in a minute. It was a great catch. I'm trying to think. Spain don't have a quarterback in college, as far as I'm aware. France don't either. There might be maybe if they try and get someone from the U Sports or from CJFL, but I doubt it. Germany and the UK are the only ones I can really think of. Yeah, loud, so loud. Teams I think could legit have a quarterback. I would love to see Honig in the ELF. That would be a dream. He's just got so many injuries. Here's Broggenhurst for a shot over the middle. Dropped. He was wide open too. That's a shame. Drops this year for teams around the league. Raiders struggled a lot of drops. They look better though, from what I've seen. Watched like the first quarter and a bit of the Raiders Dragons game. 3rd and 10. Yeah, 3 years and he's out of the league. That makes sense. He's a good athlete. So, I think the GFL kind of suits him better if he was trying to be a quarterback. But the GFL itself is just all over the place. I really wanted to see Jordan Henderson in ELF. See, we got Duncan. That was a good play. Flags. He might have been in front of the line. We gave flags pretty quickly after that throw. I think it was alright. Didn't look like it was past the line of scrimmage. No, that looks fine. Maybe a holding call? I don't know if I do. Like, I think that Brockenhurst has made some bad decisions. He looks mobile, as we said in the preseason. But he has made some bad decisions. But that was a good throw. Move to DB, replaced by Pick 6, sorry, yeah, by Hare. Hamburg looked awful, Corby, without Cisse. Oh, right, the Cougars. Yeah, he is, isn't he? Are they in GFL 2 this year? I can't remember. I'm not too keyed up on the GFL. Milano, I have conflicting feelings about Milan. Because one of my friends is on the team. One of the players I first coached is on the team. So I want him to do well. Yeah, stuff's nothing. Like, Preston Hare was not a great quarterback. Javarian Smith, I said in the first game, was like, I still needed to see a little bit more from him. I got a little bit of stick for that from kind of people being a bit meh, but I mean, it didn't look great against Paris. Would get like under 100 yards, 0-0. Didn't really do too much. But Jarvis is just such a cheat code. Yeah, they're kind of moving though, Milan. They're getting around. Flores, oh man, he dropped the ball wide open. Come on, JFC, you gotta score that. Yeah, the Surge do look fantastic. However, I mean, that's a good point actually. Now that Ryan Fire have lost, Surge are on a bye. I think if Paris win, Paris go above the Surge because the Surge looked a bit vulnerable against the Panthers, just a little bit. But yeah, Fire are going to fall down those power rankings because I go with momentum, and I go off the roster a little bit, but a lot of momentum, a lot of just what have you done for me lately. That's why the Dragons went up so much and then fell down so much. That's why Milan started quite high because I thought they had a few decent pieces and then have just stuck to the bottom ever since. But they look like they could score here. They're on the 9-yard line. 1st and 10. Sorry, not 9-yard line, 14-yard line. Probably the first time they've been in the red zone since like the first drive against the Raiders. Rainbows it. Way out of bounds. Ken Hike didn't even need to go for that. But move... I don't get the obsession with having JFC locked into that position. He's a good enough receiver, he can move around. It just seems odd to me that they don't try and kind of disguise him. Move him around a bit, maybe try him at Y or Z. Because he's the best receiver by a mile. Yeah. Slade the Blade, that's a great nickname. I think I've talked to Matt a little bit. I haven't talked to Slade, but Slade's in the Swedish league. I'm pretty sure. Is Broggenhurst rolling right? Takes a shot with nothing. I like Mangle currently. I think that Kyrie still, maybe a little bit of time, has had some tough matchups. Showed a bit of potential, but now they've just got rid of, Tyrese Fields Jackson is on the injury reserve, and I replaced him with a corner, which I found out through Jamal's video. And now he just has redeemed, so that's kind of an odd one. Yeah, the top middle is you could honestly you can make a decision for Hamburg, Madrid, not Hamburg, sorry, Madrid, Frankfurt, Rhine, Surge, Panthers, Fire, Musketeers, whoever I haven't said. All of those could be contenders. Another deflection by Ken Hike. Stop going to Ken Hike. Please just stop going to Ken Hike. I love Ken. Get Ken can have the stats. But if I'm like wanting a competitive game and I ain't got to stop, he's too good. I don't think there's a receiver that Ken couldn't lock up. Like, they keep going to. They've targeted him about 7 times this game. You're going to kick a field goal, though. They've had problems kicking in the past. And that continues. And that continues. Nothing. So that whole drive for Nout. Wide right. I like how the commentator said all for naught and I went all for Nout. Like, please, like, stop going to Ken. Ken's so good. I did the video on Ken because people weren't talking about him enough as like an elite corner. Ken is so good. And they just keep going to him. I was surprised that he stayed there. I've talked to him a couple times, nothing crazy, but I thought that he might get like a few teams looking at him, like bigger ones, bigger teams. It's nice. It's very similar to last year. I wouldn't say top tier. It's kind of just a white jersey. I think the other teams do it better, but it's alright. It works. It's alright. We obviously hurry up on the ELF, which is in the league for that. I think we could. The thing about the ELF, the offense is decades behind. So the defense is, in the most part. And we saw Wildcat work really well just a few hours ago. Like, we haven't seen that since what? Was it the Dolphins or Ricky Williams? Is it Ricky Williams? No, this is Felly. This isn't that kicker, I don't think. I don't think it is. Barcelona Dragons defense is not good. And a head coach defensive mind, that's not a good thing. It's time for Sohan. Yeah, I mean, they looked quite good in the first game against the Mercenaries. But also I think that the Mercenaries just looked bad. Well, here's Aiken. I mean, Exhibit A. The offensive line can't even handle Milan. Like, I think that the Dragons do have a couple of good defensive pieces. I was skeptical going in how it would work. Obviously, with my tier list, I think they were the lowest rated team. Or at least one of them. But I really need to do that Mercenaries breakdown. They keep changing their fucking imports. They signed Anton Coleman for one game. And to be honest, if Mercenaries had called me, I would have told him I didn't think Anton was the 11 standard. No disrespect to Anton. Oh, that should have been a pick 6. That should have been a pick, Kevin. Oh, Kevin. That should have been a pick 6. Damn. Oh, that made me lose my train of thought. What was I talking about? Holy shit, that should have been a pick 6. Damn. Yeah, the Mercenaries are still, they're not competitive, I don't think, with many teams. It's just interesting to see how Milan really look with a new offense. This is 2 teams where one of them has to win. Yeah, and talking about Anton, wasn't I? And the ELF, them moving around. I have Anton rated as a 2.5, which is like someone like Andre Serra. I think they're rated the same. And Andre Serra is a good receiver for a homegrown team to have, or someone in the GFL to be a solid player in the GFL. Like, not a number one guy, but someone who can make an impact on a GFL roster, either rotationally or as a starting role. As like a number 3 receiver. It's kind of what a 2.5 is. That's exactly the grade I had Anton on, and I gave him as an E. Well, here's Zach taking a shot, and it's picked off. Ken Hike. Why don't people listen to me, man? Why don't people listen to me, man? I said stop looking his way. I made a whole video saying don't even look at his direction. His wherever he is, you're not. And he didn't listen to me. It's infuriating. Of course he was gonna get picked when he keeps throwing the ball. He's one of the best ball playing DBs in Europe. Just giving him a free catch. Wasn't even contested. Not really. Aiken sacked. Zach Blair. Zach Blair's so good, man. But he's never really been on a great team. Where was he at the first year? He was at Cologne last season. Was he in Leipzig? No, he wasn't at Leipzig, was he? Thank you very much, Marcus. Thank you. Where was he in the first year? I can't remember. He was at Cologne last season. I don't know why I have Leipzig. I think I got AJ in my mind. He's coming again. Flags, but he's running for his damn life because the offensive line is awful. There we go. Like, who would I have recommended if I was... I mean, I recommended a couple. So, someone reached out to me, allegedly, unofficially, a connection between me and the Mercenaries, and I gave them a couple of players to sign. And they didn't listen. They didn't sign any of the people. Like, it wasn't like I did work with them or anything, or someone within the organisation asked me, but someone that I knew got asked, oh, does Matt know anyone, basically. I mean, like, but I'm not going to lie, we're 3 weeks into the year now, Jamal, like, the signing's got to stop. Like, yeah, Istanbul, that's what I'm thinking. Yeah, he's a 4-year vet, isn't he? Sergio, so he was at the Sergio. I forgot about his Istanbul era. That's what I forgot about. Fighting for his life out, still aching. There's AFB for a chunk yardage. But yeah, I had 3 weeks in. They're still making signings. I don't know, man. I feel like this should have been done months ago. They should have a team locked in. I have a lot of players on my board I have in like the GFL or the Super Series or even the UK that I have higher grades on than some of the people in the Mercenaries team. Still, again, I don't think we've seen him not be pressured. He's throwing a rainbow up. Nothing. They gotta get him some O-line, man. Even if you take the 3-game GFL suspension, I don't think there's not a technical deadline. But I would like to see them try and go after some GFL guys. If I'm playing GM for the Mercs, I'm going after some GFL guys. And eating a 3-game suspension, do what you gotta do. 4th and 8, they're going to punt it away. Milan get another chance. Good stuff by the Milan team. He just faked the punt catch. That's pretty clever. Didn't work, but it's pretty funny. Oh, they got Imashel. Is it Amashel? I can't remember how to know. Number 12. There he is. The receiver. They haven't really used him much. You know, late in all aspects from organisation. Yeah, because they rebranded what 2 weeks before the year. It's 2 weeks, 3 weeks. Yeah, Ben Barnes has played a while. Yeah, he played for the Surge. Ben Barnes played for plays for a couple of the German teams. I'm pretty sure. All right, here they go again. Seen a lot more Modeste and not that much of Patrick. But this defense for the Mercenaries I actually really like. Is Kev playing today? I haven't seen Kev yet. Is Kevin registered? Oh, there he is, 25. That's the one. Yeah, like I do like the Helvetic defense. I do think the Helvetic defense is very nice. They got Sherman, who I'm probably gonna do a video on it. About the NFL Academy and how much they've produced for not only college teams but also European teams. I think nearly every team has at least one academy alum, and Timothy Sherman is at the Mercs as a Swiss player, former Unicorn. You got Khaled over in Barcelona. You've got actually got Van Ommeren as well, the safety for the Mercenaries, another NFL Academy alum. Right, yeah, there's so you got forwards. That's pretty dangerous actually. That secondary. You've got. Well, are they not playing Van Ommeren, or is he hurt, or is he playing a corner? I don't think that's him playing a corner. Yes, is Van Ommeren not playing anymore? Is he hurt? Is that why they brought in Kev? Hmm. That is a scary defense. Tim Hanney, big Mike. I haven't seen too much of in this game. I think he's playing at the moment, but even without him, I've been watching the D-Land too intently. I've been watching Ken, which is why the hell they choose to keep going to Ken. Another Milan possession, another punt. Are we going to see Milan score? Actually, fun fact, have not seen Milan score in 2024. Not live. I watched obviously the game last week against Ravens. But live, I have not seen Milan score a point. Maybe it's just a me curse. A Bressington curse, if you will. Because, I mean, a couple of the players I predicted to do well this season have been injured or not used. So maybe I started my own curse. But I made the video on Ken, and Ken's done great. So, you know what? I think I'm covered. And Milan have done surprisingly well at containing AFB. I think they realised they needed to send pressure. If they didn't send pressure, they'd just be leaving a man coverage situation, and AFB's going to destroy them all day. So I think they realised the Mercs do not have a good offensive line, so just go at them. Look, immediate pressure. Just one twist, one stunt, one move. And they're through. There isn't really much blocking going. There isn't much blocking going on at all. Yeah, you put Zachary Blair over the middle of that. That's FB. There he goes. Oh. I know we didn't really get much out of it, but that was a nasty stiff arm. I want to see a replay of that. Just like a drag route over the middle. Spins off one tackle. Peru just... Oh. Ouch. Ouch. You know what? Milan also have sleepers for some of the best jerseys. Like, the Milan jerseys are nice. Oh, Blair immediate. I don't know how Aiken got out of that, but Blair was through that immediately. He got the first. That was damn close. I'm not so sure he got that. But look, like the guards just can't deal with it. They need interior help, probably more than any other team in the league right now. Because they invested a little bit on the tackles, but not with, like, they got the big Norwegian dude. I don't know why they would move him inside. Yeah, be with a drop. There'd be a couple drops today, you know. He's still great. Just a couple drops. To be fair, the ball was quite spirally, but that's a great defensive play by Fantin, actually. Actually, that's a really good defensive play. Just to knock that ball out as he's coming down with it. Oh, it was a fumble. Oh, that was a fumble. Ouch. Harsh. Right, one score in the first quarter. 7-0 to end that. Let me check on my phone the other scores in the ELF games. Because I have not seen. Yeah, so Raiders beating up the Dragons. I thought the Dragons might have a chance. I think I predicted them to win just off of like vibes. And a lot of my like score predictions I'll make in those videos are literally as I'm filming it. I'm like, ah, fuck it, we'll go for this one. And then I'll edit it in just afterwards. I kind of feel like the Dragons could have got something, but from what I saw, they didn't look great offensively. They threw a pick. Defensively, they were just getting ran through by Nati and Hasavanta. I mean, it's 26-7, so it's not exactly close. Alright. I mean, eye-opening week already. And then tomorrow, I've got even more great games. In the future, I'm looking forward to having, like, Thursday night games or Monday night games. We are years from being able to facilitate that. Years. Because players would, obviously, some of these players would just have work. But I would love to see like a Tuesday night game or a Thursday night game or a Monday night game. Just for a one-off even. Any odds on what quarterback you think Madrid will sign to replace injured Helvetic? I guess it depends on the how bad the injury is. But given Tabor is in the country, I did a video about him if you, on the QB comparison for the Spanish Bowl. He's just finished the season with the Spanish team. I don't know if he's still in Spain, but like, you know, he came, so I don't imagine he'd have any problem coming back. Former North Carolina guy. But he's not hell big in terms of his play style. So a little bit more mobile and a little less accurate. Apart from that, who would I go for? Maybe Matty Ice could see a return. Potentially. He was a solid quarterback in the Panthers. Maybe we'll see him come back in. He just finished the season over in Mexico. Who else could I see in there? I'm trying to think of some people I liked last year. I really thought Fields was good, but he's over in New Yorker. Colin Aiken again, spinning around, sacked again. Like, if this Milan defense is able to stop the Mercs, it's got to be a little bit of a concern, right? Even a little bit. He span out of it, but Tadia got him. Yeah, I think my top three, I'd like to have Tabor That's who probably I'd go for. Matty, because he can do a job, and I think that he's got, like, Matt's arm is huge. Now, I was watching, obviously, for Catspur's video. I went back and watched some of the old Panthers tape. He was, like, slinging that rock to Tony Tate from, like, 60 yards. So he has a great arm. We're able to have a fully professional league. Many players will be professional quality. Yeah, it will, for sure. So I was saying with, like, the Thursday night games and stuff would be great. I will never get it for at least a few years. But a midweek game would be so fun. No, we've not. No, we're not very close. We're well and away from that. But it'd be fun, right? It would be cool. Something to work towards, maybe for the league. Somewhat of a 10-year target to have a Thursday night game. I think you do it between two German teams because you can get it. I think I'm not in Germany. Not sure if you could tell. I'm not German. But I think they have a TV deal in Germany, so you can show the stuff a lot easier. And they have the Amazon deal. Oh, that would be cool, actually. With the Amazon deal, a midweek Amazon game. It won't happen. But if it did happen, that'd be really cool. That'd be really cool. Because obviously all the games are on Saturday, Sunday. And it gets hard to watch all of the games because some of them are on at the same time. Like I'm missing the Raiders Dragons. I'll watch it later. Puda runs so much similar to Car. But then tomorrow, they've got the Panthers playing the Vikings at the same time as the Galaxy and the Musketeers. So I got to kind of pick a game. And obviously also, Berlin are plenty in Throners, but it's less of a game of interest. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I'm very British. I can't speak the German names. I do try and get the German names. The Polish names are really hard. I cover a league in which they have players from every country. And I can only speak one language. I've talked to some of the German people in the community. And I'm like, oh, sorry, my English is quite bad. And they're speaking in perfect English. And then they're like, I can't speak German. So any English you're speaking to me is very much appreciated. See, 2 games Sunday. That's pretty cool. Is that like a local channel or is that like a national channel? Obviously, we had the BBC and ITV over here, but I'm not sure if they would be on the same equivalent to German TV. But that's pretty awesome that they're on German TV. So I think they have something in there's another country, I think maybe Austria, that does the same thing. Obviously, Austria and Germany, pretty similar in terms of how they're set up, I imagine, with TV deals, considering they're the same language. I imagine they kind of have some crossover. That's me being very assumptuous. Greetings from Berlin. That's very cool. I do like that. Greetings from Bristol. Bristol actually got mentioned in the Barcelona game with Stephen McCluskey. He didn't start in Bristol, by the way. The commentator was slightly wrong. I think he started with East Kilbride in Scotland. And then he came down to Bristol to play for Bristol Pride, which is where I played. So I played with Toby Naylor at Hamburg. I played with Steve McCluskey at the Dragons. I played with Joe Cassie when he played at the Dresden. Who else did I play in the ELF? There's another one I played with in the ELF. Calvin Stitt. I played with Calvin Stitt. No, Marcus. It's still 7-0. Kind of both back and forth. 100. Damn, that's a lot of viewership. That's a lot of viewership. Shit. I didn't know it would go that much. I know they said their numbers were good, but I thought that predominantly the viewership was American. I think they said that in one of the ELF reports. I can't remember. But I imagine Germany and America got to be number 1 and 2. I do need to try and learn German. I need to try and learn Dutch, and I need to try and learn German. Because I do some work with the Dutch national team. So I need to try and learn a little bit Dutch. I need to try and learn a little bit German. That's my 2 things. I speak a tiny bit of Portuguese. Oh, Zach Bronhurst taking a shot in the middle. Oh, shit! Milano finally scored. This is the first time I've seen Milan score live in 2024. That was a bit of a dart. I will read the rest of them in a minute. Bear with me. So, Broggenhurst drops. Stay central. That's a bit of a dime. To Santa. That was a really good play. Alright, Ball. Alright, Zach. That's what I'm talking about. Deion Sanders coached 2 quarterbacks who played in the 11. Matty and Kyrie Lyles both were backups. Jackson State and Deion Sanders. That's a good point. I never thought about that. That is a good point. We had Jasper Frissels at Jackson State too. So there's 3. You count him as a player too. So final showing one of the biggest German TV channels. That's fucking awesome. Because I tried to watch some of the Italian games, but they had it's on the Zone, and you can only watch the Italian games if you're in America or in Italy. And I was covering. That's why I stopped doing those shorts about the Italian league, because I couldn't watch the games until like days after they came out, so I wasn't really able to do it consistently, which is a shame. I tried to use a VPN, but the Zone kind of picked up on it. Yeah, blowout game. Alex, that's crazy. I'm not even going to justify that with a... That's crazy. They need to change their name, man. They're not even on the sea. So I got some stick for this. I think they should be called like the Artists or something. Imagine the jerseys you could make being called like the Milano Artists. And it's individual. It's not like the Lions or the Panthers or the Bulls. Like, they're all quite, no disrespect to those franchises, but they're all just quite basic. I think the Milano Artists would be pretty cool. Or something in Italian. Like, I wouldn't be mad at that. Like Wolfie. Even though I get people make fun of me for saying Wolfie Forenzi in a weird way. Even the Rhinos. I know Fourth Down Fiasco said about, do you reckon they'd change up the Italian team? I don't think they're going to change up the Italian team. I think they will keep Milan because it's such a big market. But man, they need to change their name. That makes sense. I mean, they're playing the 25 final in Stuttgart as Jamal. I mean, I watched your video, and of course, I think that they should do the next one in Paris. I think that'd be really cool. The Shipman, the Alfredo, the Milano high-end fashion stores. Yeah, that could work, you know. Why not? Milan Fashion Week, just the fashion weeks. That'd be kind of cool. But like something a bit better than that, like Seamen, bruv. Like, we're trying to appeal to an American audience, let's be honest. Like, we want more of the American audience. And I'm not sure if it means the same thing in German, but it ain't a good name in English. Whenever I'm trying to explain people to the league, I always avoid the Italian team. I'll be like, yeah, so you got like the Fire and the Surge and like the Bravos, the Dragons. And you got the what? What are they called? The Seamen. They're called the Seamen. Yeah, they're called the Seamen. So it's always the same exchange. I would like to see maybe just something a bit more. You know, like the Milano cathedrals. I know they got a massive cathedral in Milan. Call it that. Be better than Seamen. Like, anything's better than that. I think they named it from someone who like created the team, worked in the industry. I think that's why they're called that. But that team's like 30 years old, 40 years old now. They can change it up. Mercenaries changed their name after 1 year. Why can't Milan change it? They went from the Guards to Mercenaries in the space of 1 year. I mean, everything else is the same. The location, the uniforms, the colour scheme, all the same. I don't know why they changed the name. The Milano Mafia. Low key though, hard. That would be hard. The Milano Mafia would be so hard. Can't even act like I wouldn't be gassed if they wore like all black That would be so sick. Like suits, like white accessories with all black. There's Aiken taking a shot left. Oh, just out of reach. Like the Milano Mafia would go so hard. Or like the Milano Tommy guns. You know what I mean? Would be fucking awesome. German sounds very similar. I would imagine. Obviously, English and German are not that far apart. Like they're far apart, but they're just saying they're both Germanic languages. So there's a few similarities. Except German, they just kind of ram the words together. Like, I think I know one word in German. I'm not entirely sure if it's correct, but Luftkissenfahrzeug, I think, means hovercraft. That's the extent of my German. But now as a leading alpha global city with strengths into field, art, chemicals, commerce, design, education, entertainment, fashion, health, finance, and communications. Yeah, black and silver Raiders team for Mafia. Yeah, we've already got the Raiders. With two, I reckon black and white. A little bit out of the silver. But if we're going off of that, right, you got the artists, which I think would bang. I don't think you can name them like the Milano methamphetamines for chemicals. I don't think that would work. I don't think that would be a very good name. Commerçants, Milano money. Design, maybe Milano designers. It's not awful. Education. Yeah, I knew it. I knew that's my one word in German. I know. And Koft. I know Koft. And I went to Austria, so I learned 1, 2, 3, just so I knew the down counter. But that is literally it. And when I was in Austria, people would go up to me and try and like ask me for directions in the tubes. Oh, I probably got blown up. Yeah, people would ask me for directions in the tube, and I was like, nah. Talk to my American friend. He speaks German. It was a very embarrassing European moment where I had to tell the European to talk to my American friend. Yeah. And Volkswagen, of course, is the same thing. But Krankenwagen is ambulance. See, now all my German's coming out. Yeah. Basically fluent, mate. Basically fluent. Milan are pinned up inside their own 15. Have not really moved the ball much, apart from that one dime by Brockenhurst. He seems to get quite skittish, Zach. Like, he had decent protection there, and he scrambles out quite fast. Like, he's immediately dipped again. And he had good protection there. But his eyes, he lowers his head down. He's just only looking at a couple of yards in front of him. I think that's the where do you play? D2, D3? I think that's that coming through. Maybe. See a D1 quarterback, could be a bit more used to it. Jack Coroner? I don't know why the name don't ring a bell. Maybe I'm just blanking. Let me search him up on Instagram. We just watch Zach first sling a rock downfield 40 yards. Ooh. Alright, that was good. That was really good. Is Zach kind of flashing a little bit? That was a really good play. Where's a Hawkeye? Oh, I need to look him up, Alex. I've not watched any of his games. That was a bit of a dime though. The Moldovan Italian, I think he is. You Raiders safety from X-Fan. Well, I'll have to watch the some of the tape. I thought Cibaturo, I think that's how you say his name. I thought he was going to be really good last season. I haven't seen much of him. I'm not watching a Raiders game at the moment, though, Alex. I'll have to watch it in a minute. He's playing now. It was underthrown, but beggars can't be choosers. Like, Milan haven't not had much of anything offensively in the last 2 games. So even an underthrown 40-yard gain, I think they'll take. You are right, but I think they'd even take that. Marcus ain't wrong though. Marcus is spitting facts. Oh, physical. Physical run. Yeah, you're probably right. He's quite a young receiver, so maybe I don't think he's got the pacing. Yeah, I played last week too. The Raiders, who the Raiders play? I kind of missed out. The Raiders versus Vikings was kind of a boring game for a while, and I was getting through it, but I wasn't necessarily watching too much of the safeties. But I'll go back and watch the tape at some point. I've got so many games to watch at the moment. I've been slacking a little bit on the actual scout work. They've moved, so Ken isn't on Flores at the moment. So we could see Flores get a little bit more action in the second quarter, maybe, potentially. That'd be kind of interesting. Jamal, if you do come over, I need to show you what chocolate orange is. That's what I'm currently eating. But the mint variant, not the orange variant. Yes, Alex, they do. They do get a lot of flags. Well, flags are a big problem, I think, overall so far. In, like, every game. I mean, it's not a pre-snap flag, but it's a pretty awful pre-snap and post-snap and current snap situation. Here's a question. I'm not sure, but I think... is Bronkhurst a victim of a bad team? Or is he just not an elite quarterback? Because he's had bad snaps. Oh, yeah. Yeah, no doubt. Children's a really good quarterback. He's had one bad game. And he's without 4 starting receivers. Unless he's hurt, Jadrian's still that guy. They're not going to think about replacing him. After one bad game, the Fire aren't the Raiders. As far as I'm aware. Jadrian's an MVP. Grant, he didn't have a good game. Yeah, I think he'll be the first to admit that. And Jalen Embry was on fire. Jalen Embry's definitely my defensive player of the week, bar any fuck it. Even if we have a better game tomorrow, Jalen Embry picking off 2 times. Bravos have never lost, ending 6-game win streak. Yeah, they can't replace with anyone better. Jadrian's not going anywhere. Jadrian absolutely deserves still to be on the roster. Like, Jadrian's not under fire. Injuries constantly to that receiver cause damage to them. Jadrian looked a little bit off today. I'm not sure if he's hurt or what, but I think it was a really good performance by the Bravos. We know how good the Spanish talent is from the Barcelona Dragons days. So it was a surprise to me. I don't think it's the biggest surprise of all time. What's my series saying? I don't think it's the biggest surprise of all time, though. I don't think it ranks like that. I think it's the biggest day in Spanish American football history. Oh, Anthony Brown, another drop. Couple drops by Brown today. Like, it's the biggest day in Spanish football, absolutely. It's not as big as the Guards beating the Surge. And I don't think it's as big as was it the Rams that beat the Dragons? I don't think it's as big as that either. Because like the Madrid team's really good. Like, they have weapons all over. Oh, fucking hell, that's crazy. Sagna hasn't played all year. I don't think. Nothing on that one. 43-7. I picked Dragons just to win, just off the vibes. I from what I saw, though, the quarterback was doing quite well. But it also looks like the offensive line is playing better. And it also looks like they've opened the playbook. Like with Fulford, they had such a shite playbook. Like, it was terrible. I don't think he is. I might be wrong. I want to see where Canoodle lands. Like, Canoodle's not doing anything at the moment, I don't think. I want to see him back. Immediate pressure again by Milano. Just nothing. Oh, I thought this line's terrible. Is the biggest upset because fire? Yeah, they have. They have. You're right. But like, think about the Surge, though. Surge last season were one of the best teams we've ever seen. And they lost to the Guards, who are honestly one of the worst we've ever seen. Because the Guards had, what, 5 quarterbacks that year? And it was, what, Tyler Noble that beat them. Whereas Madrid have Helbig and Dwayne Obi and Willie and Mario and Alessandro and Sebastian and Glenna and Jalen. Like, you know what I mean? Big guys. So I don't think it's as big as an upset as those ones. I'm surprised it's an upset for sure. Oh, good return there. But I wouldn't put it on the same level as them ones. As much as American football, what can a league do better to be different from the NFL? Kickoff's already a bit unique. More laterals. I won't say running back. 2 running backs to American football. I think the rule sets allow it to be individual. Like the 10 imports, I think is perfect. I don't think they should add 4, like they kind of rumoured to. I don't think 8. I think 8 was too many. I think having a base of your country makes it really unique. In terms of like rules to the actual game, I'd like to maybe see them do what they do at the XFL, where they had that like 4th and 20 instead of an onside kick. That'd be pretty interesting. I think I'd like to see that maybe tested. Why not? I think that'd be cool. You can't retire, Jamal. We'd miss you too much. We're not going to allow that. We'll stage an intervention. Heart would be broken. So I talked about Tabor. I would like to see Tabor. Maybe Theo Landers. Both of those in Spain, or were in Spain, for the Osos Rivas and the Las Rojas Black Demons. So one of those could be hinted. I know for like a split second during the off-season, Landers had Madrid as his team on Europlayers for like an hour. So perhaps, that was months ago, so maybe it's different. Obviously San Helbig. But maybe Landers has a contract already put into place, just in case. We've seen that before, where they have their backup signed as like a just-in-case measure. Most teams have that. So it's Tabor, which is Tabor, Tabor, like T's Tabor, the Lions back in the day. And Theo Landers, so Landers. He's Canadian. I have a video on both of them on my channel for the Spanish Bowl. If you want to see my eval on them. They're 2 very similar players, but Russell Tabor, he's more of inexperienced. He played at North Carolina. Well, he was on the bench at North Carolina, which is still invaluable experience. So was Calderon getting some action? Landers in Finland? Damn. Maybe it's Tabor then. Russell Tabor. I'd like to see that. But he's different to Helbig. He's more mobile, less accurate. Helbig's a killer. Helbig's an assassin. Helbig draws you in with those play actions and then absolutely hits you short and deep. I don't think they have like Finland don't have a ban for players. They can kind of just leave. Some I've heard of this being an instance where players will have ELF clauses. So that's something we're starting to see now. Like this, it's not going to be with every player, but I've heard of players having, if the ELF call me, the contract will be voided. I've heard that being instrumented into some people's contracts, which is very interesting. Yeah, the 4th and 20 try. Like, I don't see why that couldn't be a thing. Onside kicks, they don't really work very often, and it would be fun to have 4th and 20. The 4th and 20 gives you an insight, like a big incentive. Yeah, I'll miss Helbig too. I like Helbig. But yeah, he is. I did an eval on him. I did like just like a written one, and I think I broke the news that he was going to Madrid a little bit before it was revealed. I said in one of my articles, I put like that they're likely going to go with Helbig. And he messaged me after he signed. He was like, "You're really good at your job." Like, how did you even find that out? I was like, "Stop it. Yeah, I imagine it's quite a contentious issue, but I know that it has happened. Again, I'm not sure if it has happened with every player. The GFL had their 3-game ban thing. It's not the same for every league. Could see, I'd fucking love to see Ryan Griffin in the ELF. The IFL's ended though right now. They're in the playoffs. So maybe we'll see one of those guys move over. But who's in the playoffs? The Scorpions are still there. The Frogs are still there. So are the Florence team, and is it the Dolphins are in as well? So you got like maybe Hamish. He's in Milan. He was good. A little bit more mobile again. Then he's not as big as Helbig. DiGablio. What's he do? Oh, he was real good for the Ducks? He had some moments actually. So maybe we'll see Colin DiGablio. I think that's how you say his name. 2-minute warning. Yeah, so here's my shortlist of players off the top of my head, but still in Europe and could be swayed. Colin DiGablio, Russell Tabor, Theo Landers, and someone like no, I'm not, no. And maybe someone like what's his name? Maybe Matty Ice, obviously. Could see what's his name? Allen, Kente Allen. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking of. Yeah, he went to the Lazio. Who was at Lazio? Can't remember. But yeah, like Colin is a really good player. I think he would be interesting. Ryan Griffin would be amazing, but I imagine because Ryan Griffin went out there to play with his brother. Like, I mean, he went out there, and so did his brother. So I'm assuming that's why they went out there together. So, I imagine, yeah, exactly, Chiante. He's shown he can do it. Sergio got that random game. We got 8 touchdowns. But if Matt just finished in Mexico. Tabor I haven't seen much of. I'm not massively connected with Madrid. But no, I'm not ELFopedia on X. ELFopedia is a German fellow. You know that because he speaks German with people every now and then, and I would not even try. No, they're just a great person for the community. ELFopedia is one of the best people in the world in terms of like the stuff they do for the league. That's why I put their stuff, like I put their website on it, because I will check I'll go through the rosters before and just like get the numbers and make sure the names are spelled correctly. So Jarman is in Sweden. Vitali is around. Matt is still a free agent. Clark Hasler, but he's a coach now. He's a coach with Prague. I did have a theory though that if yes, that was what I was thinking, is if it wouldn't wish it, but if Kyrie Lowes doesn't play well, they can just switch Clark in. I think that was probably in the back of their heads, at least someone. Who's the best European safety that isn't on a roster right now? Gordon Zek. Is that a cheap one because he's technically retired? It's definitely Gordon Zek if I have a call on that one, because he's technically retired because he's a three-time All ELF Serbian animal. 3rd and 16. Taking a shot to no one. Maybe one more drive. It's been quite an uneventful second quarter, to be honest. Yeah, Germans and Sweden. Yeah, I think my top one would probably honestly be Tabor. Colin, I think, is in the playoffs. Because teams are going to have to start getting some of the better Italian league players. Sheehy Giuseppe would be an amazing receiver on a team. Tony Tate somehow isn't fucking signed. I really thought Tony Tate would find his way back into the league at this point with the amount of injuries to be on, or like with IR players. Obviously, Hexall just came in for McKnight. That could have been Tony Tate. But I don't blame them for that, though. They needed someone that could stretch the field in like a deep ball area. They needed a bigger, faster receiver, and they got Hexall, which is a good choice. Well, who else could sign? Tony. I think there's many people. Oh my god. Fucking hell. So the Raiders heard us, Alex. That's us being critical, and Jamal. I would love the idea of a Swedish team. Can you imagine? Emil Forfter, Azan Zetterberg. You'd get Ludwig Myron. You'd get Aaron Ellis is available. That's a good pick. That's a really good pick, actually. Yeah. That's very possible. Because he's more like Helbig than people like Tabor or Landers or Matty Ice. And Aaron Ellis has been around the block. Aaron Ellis is great. I think me and Aaron are cool. I did an interview with Aaron, and it was like fine. And then I did the how much the players make, like short. And then he commented on it, and I replied, but he perceived my reply as being like an arsehole, and I wasn't being an arsehole. I was just generally making a video. It took me a while, so I was making a video, and he thought I was being an arsehole. So we just had a miscommunication. But I think me and Aaron are cool. Aaron, if you somehow see this, I hope we're cool, bro. I really like you. I think you're a good quarterback. For the Raiders, I do not understand how they can be the last team to sign a QB and then cut him to... Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, I forgot they were the last team to sign a QB. And there's Aiken again running for his life and getting sacked again. Man, this fucking Mercenaries offensive line is trash. Terrible, man. Both of these offensive lines are awful. Defense is prevailing. Yeah, they were the last team, which I also forgot about. 2 weeks in this, they cut him. But Japan, is he... Japan, I can't remember when the season starts in Japan. He was with Dentsu, but I'm not sure if he still is. Because he went to Mexico for a bit. But Aaron Harris has been around everywhere. Yeah, like Sweden would be a really good team. They'd have Anton Coleman. They'd have Anton Jahali at receiver. That'd be a really nice receiver core. Anton Blumgren. He's a really good receiver playing for Stockholm. Their offensive line would be excellent. They got like people. The problem is there's like so many really good Scandinavian players. Like the Finnish would be amazing, but Finland is realistically Finland isn't going to get any ELF team probably. Yeah, Japan's more in the. Is Japan more in like the end of the ELF season is when Japan starts kicking into gear, right? I can't remember. I'm not so keyed up on my Asian Pacific football. But I guess if he doesn't start for a while, might be able to get a few reps. But I think you're probably right. I don't think we'll see Aaron Ellis. I would like to see him, but he is more what they're looking for than someone more mobile. Danish team. I'd rather see a Finnish team before I see a Danish team. Denmark do have some great players. Right, Finland have Kari and Lassi Bajarinen. I'm not sure if they're brothers, Lassi Bajarinen and Kari Bajarinen. I'm not sure how common of a name that is. But the Bajarinen duo at running back, Viktor Askolov is one of the best offensive tackles in Europe. If you don't know Viktor Askolov, Helsinki Roosters, still trying to go D1. But if he doesn't go D1, then every single ELF team should be trying to make him their starting left tackle. Their offensive line overall is good. They kind of lack a little bit more in skill position in Finland. But Denmark they got Allen, interior offensive line. A couple of decent running backs and skill position players. Where's Aiken taking a shot? Oh, he's caught it! Great play. Well done. Agamel. Damn. What shows of football was discussed with Copenhagen because of a Scandinavian team. I know that was like rumoured with them trying to expand because I think it's the Enthroners can use Serbian players or something like that, somewhere close to them as homegrowns. So, maybe we get a Benelux deal or a Scandi deal with something. I think if they were going to do it, they do it in Stockholm now. I think Stockholm is bigger than Copenhagen. Is Stockholm bigger than Copenhagen? I've been to Copenhagen. And it didn't feel huge. But it would be cheaper to run a team in Copenhagen than it would with Stockholm. So rumor is they want 20 teams in the next couple of years. Unofficial, I do not know that for sure at all. But that's just from rumors. Oh, is that picked off? Oh my god. Do either of these teams want to win, bro? Do either of these teams want to win? Aiken just scans middle of the field, throws it past AFB for a pick. Could argue Mike Cabrera shoved AFB in the back there for a flag. David Pennell, Jane Henderson, and Ellis all in the league at the same point. Pennell, QB at UConn, now in Japan. So, Jaden Henderson is still in. Yeah, I talked about the Copenhagen team. I said that I think Stockholm would be a better market. And I talked about how the Enthroners use the same thing. I think the Enthroners they did withdraw it. Still flicked anyway. Yeah, I talked about how I'm pretty sure the Enthroners get to use like Serbians or Slovakians as homegrown players as well. So it's not out of the realm. But I think that Stockholm would be a better city than Copenhagen. Copenhagen doesn't feel like a huge city. I've been there only once for a couple of days, but Stockholm would be really expensive. So, but Jaden was my number one guy I want to see in the ELF. on my list of players. He was the player I really wanted to see in year 11. Like, he's doing very well in the GFL. I'm sure he's making. I'm sure he's on a great contract. It's like the GFL's not what it used to be, man. I mean, it's kind of a difficult It's kind of a difficult one, isn't it? Right? Because do you use it as like a draft, where if you're the top 5 teams, you get 4 Americans, 6 Europeans, and then if you're in the bottom 6, you get 5 Americans and 8 Europeans, and if you're in the bottom, so 5 and like 6. So like if you're in the bottom 6, you get like 6 Americans and 10 Europeans. Do you work it like that? As somewhat similar to a draft as we can really get. Because a draft won't work. Like at all. But if you gave teams that finished worse, that's not a bad idea. Like, that would maybe even the playing field a bit. That could be something, actually. I'm not sure how the teams would like that. That's an interesting thought. I haven't actually had that thought until that moment. So let me write that down real quick. Let me see how I would do it. No, draft's not possible. So if we have 1 through 17, let's say 1, 2, and 3, or let's say 1 and 2, because they're the championship games. You get 4 and 6. I'm always going to use the Americans as the 4, and then the latter half will be the Europeans. Let's say all the semi-final games, so all the 3, 4, 5, 6, let's say they get an extra European. It's pretty reasonable. 7, 8, 9, and 10, because that's like kind of the best of the rest, right? Kind of entering into the playoffs a little bit. Let's give them another European, so they get 4 and 8. And 11, 12, 13, and 14, maybe we give them an extra American as well as the 8. So they're like 5 and 8. I've run out of space on my piece of paper. I'm trying to write with one hand on the page. And we give 14, then we give 15, 16, 17. Like maybe 5 and 9. It's not a bad idea. It could be interesting, actually. Oh, Burton will be way better with Jalen. Jalen would be better everywhere. Jalen would be an improvement on many of the QBs in the league. Alright, not sure if you can see this. We do it like that. So we get the 2 championship games, get 4 and 6, unchanged. 3, 4, 5, 6. So the kind of the English, my first language, I can't say it. The outside looking in of the title contenders. Your Hamburgs, your Madrids. They're in 4 and 6. So they're 4 and 7. We get them an extra European. And then 7, 8, 9, 10. So kind of in the middle of the pack. Your Raiders. Your I don't know. Yeah, who's a middle table team? Your fucking, I don't know. The Raiders. They get 4 and 8. So they have 2 more Europeans than the Fire, who I know just lost, but you move with me. And then 11, 12, 13, 14 get an extra American because they're ass. So they get an extra American over everyone in the top 10. And then 15, 16, 17 have 5 and 9. So they have the extra American. They also get another European. That could be... that actually kind of sounds like that could be quite fun. I'm just saying. Maybe I should make the league. Maybe I should make my own league. Maybe. But I think Jaden is an improvement on pretty much every quarterback in the league. So, let me see if I can tune into the Raiders game while we're in halftime. Let's see what the score is. Oh, fuck! Oh my god! I didn't realize it would be that bad. Holy shit. Donatelli still looks good. Damn, that's a beating. That's a beating. 56-7. Is that a scoregami? It might be. Like if I'm looking at that O-line, maybe Elvis Nunez, Blanca might get on the rotation for the Bravos. I'm taking Willie over Donatelli, although I like Donatelli. I'm still going to take Patterson. I like Ivanov, but I'm still going to take Flores Calderon. Mario Flores. I'm taking Dwayne over any of the running backs they've got. Shit, that's not good. Ooh, that's not good. Maybe this Raiders quarterback treated this as a very good opportunity to try and get himself that starting spot. Because he wasn't great in the AFL, right? He had like 13 and 11. But, fucking no. But I think that import thing could potentially be quite interesting. I haven't had a look at their offense for a while. I looked at it in the first quarter and it looked like it was moving quite well. But it also just looks like the play calling's improved. Like, I'm not sure if they've opened the playbook up. Now they have someone from the AFL team who might have just known it better than Fulford. But, like, their playbook, the first 2 games, was trash. Let's be real. It was just one-step hitches and run inside. But I saw other route combinations in the first parts. Maybe they've switched up. Maybe they've opened the playbook up a little bit. That's good, man. If he's got the respect to the locker room, I don't see any reason why they don't sign him to be a multiple game quarterback. I mean, he's just put 56 up on the Dragon. I know the Dragons aren't very good, but putting 56 up against any team is impressive. I'd like to see his stats. They don't really have. That's one thing as well. I'd like to see more an improvement with the ELF is like the coming up of the stats of like, oh, this is how he's been doing so far. Like even the stats from the first 2 weeks aren't available on the website yet, which is kind of mad considering. But here he is. You know, he's been in the AFL team, so he's been in there for a while. Maybe he's a bit more comfortable, a bit more game ready. But I guess, you know, we'll see how it works out. I think he's earned himself another game, personally, off of the limited stuff that I've seen and this big result. Now, how are you going to relegate him back down to the AFL when he's just put up these crazy numbers? It seems like they're going to win now. Yeah, like it is just, yeah, I agree. Like this happened last year. If you remember, I made a bunch of videos last year, right at the start of the season, with those stat videos, with Madre London as a thumbnail, and with Dwayne Obi at the end of the start of the GFL one. The Madre London video, I think, is still my most successful American football video on this channel. And the stats they just changed the stat page, and it was you can't filter it properly. Of course, we've been delayed on getting the numbers. It's unfortunate. Yeah, like, oh, that's a live stats? Damn, is that actually real? From Oregon. Surge do. So Surge have a European player that played at Oregon, Marco. Other than that, Oregon players. Marcus Mariotta's brother played for Leeds last year in the University League, but I don't think he went to Oregon. But I'm reaching. Yes, they would. Oh, it would be the end of the year, right? But you can't just. They want to win championships. You got to try and even out the playing field. So I think this could work. I might do a video on that. Yeah, that'll be quite interesting. But you are right. It'd be hard to move on and cut one if you go from 11 to 10, which isn't a big jump, and you lose an American. That's huge. But we see teams go from bottom feeders in the NFL, get one. I mean, the Bears this year are likely to make the playoffs. You could see the same thing. They get one more American. They go right up the table. They finish fourth. They have to cut a European. They cut an American, but now their reputation's a bit better. Players are going to want to go move to them. I think it's a really good idea. I actually really like it. I'm glad you brought that up. Yeah, like Sportsmetrics works. Oh, it's on the live stats. Oh, interesting. I didn't know that. Irish punter. Oh, he touched it. Yep. It just keeps getting worse for the Dragons, man. I appreciate you, Marcus. We appreciate having you here, man. As mostly Europeans. I'm not even sure how many people here are, but I know we got a few Germans. Alex is American. Jamal's American. I'm one of the only very few Europeans in the European League. Cover in the European League. Because Silas is American. Nick's American-Italian, but American. Jamal and Alex are American. And then there's just me. And obviously the Fourth Down Fiasco guys who have entered the scene, they're all American. But I'm happy you found the channel. I very much appreciate it. It's fun to have people enter into the league. I think it's a really fun league. Because you're a lot more attached to the players. That's what really draws me to Europe. Oh, good tap. Oh my god. Oh my god, what a run. Is that Hasselvanta? No, it's Tonko. Tim Tonko scored. My friend just messaged me about Tim Tonko. He's called him the next Sandro, which I don't agree with. I'm going to message him actually right now. Yeah, so my friend messaged me about Tim. There we go. I'm going to message Europe's Elite Chat. Because Tim Tonko, he was like, he's the dude. Like, he's better than Bonazzi. But that's a really good run. Schedule adjustments based on last year's finish. That would be interesting. I mean, the schedule has been good this year for like putting a really good matchup on each week. Born and raised in Oregon, came to Germany as a soldier, stayed. Oh, nice. Respect. There's a lot of military bases in Germany. I actually proposed this to a team. There's a player for Fordham University that was born in America, raised in German high school, and he would count as a homegrown player because he started playing American football in high school in Germany. So my thought was, if you get a bunch of military kids that count as Europeans, that's fucking cracked. I have a list of a bunch of them. Potentially, like some of them aren't as easy to find because you can't get government documents and stuff like that. But sometimes it'll say on like their page they were born in America, moved to Stuttgart for stuff. So some bad games, yeah. So like the divisions, that's the hard part. Is that the 17 teams. We had the Rams fold, we had the Kings fold. We have an odd amount of teams. If London or Amsterdam or Stockholm get a team, that's another northern team. So that's going to have to change the conferences up. We might have Paris, say if we get London, right? We might have London, Paris, Rhine, and Frankfurt or someone, or Cologne. That's a brutal, brutal, brutal conference. It's going to have to be North if you had one of those teams. Or even if you had a couple of those teams, it's going to have to be a North rather than a West. A North, a South, and maybe a Central, and then maybe an East. That's what you'd have to do. Yeah, I'm glad that we have people from Oregon who is obviously absolutely miles away able to come to Germany. I've actually never been to Germany. I've been to Austria, I've been to Denmark, I've been to the Netherlands, I've been to France, Spain. I've been through Belgium. I'm not sure if it really counts. There's a lot of players that would be like who was it? Well, there's actually a fuck ton of college players in America that are European. Starting at pretty much, if you go to nearly any D1 school, there's a European in that team. Like, we have really, I'm trying to open a can of Pepsi. We have really exploded onto the scene the last few years. We're not that far away from getting a five-star draft prospect. Like, I think we're 10 years away, probably less than 10 years away, of having a 5-star European player. Like 24/7, ESPN, 5-star. We have 4 stars. Got a bunch of 4 stars. Mark Zindenok is where I'm at. Yeah, that's fucking badass. Like, you get the army kids that spent a few years here, homegrown players, they get an opportunity to come back to Germany, you know. Germany's a great country. It's not that far from America, but it is. But, like, you know, that's cool. That would be a really cool. So there's one in Munich too, right? I'm not sure exactly where the army bases are, because I'm not in Germany and I'm not in the army. But I know that Germany has a lot of them. But I do know that there's big ones in Stuttgart. That's about life. Thank you very much, Blues. Let me go back to that game. Thank you very much. You are the man. Great call. Thank you. Yeah, like, England has a bunch of army bases who could do the same thing, but Americans come to England a lot anyway, so. And England has potential to have a really good team. Scotland doesn't. It cannot be a Scottish Claymores. That won't happen. If you made a Scottish team, you'd have Daltrey, Daniel Kane, Steve McCluskey, Gary Gardner, Joe Morton, and that's about it. And they're all big guys. So, and who am I forgetting? I'm getting another couple of Scottish players. But there's a couple of Scottish players, but it'd have to be UK. It couldn't be England and Scotland. Yeah, Munich went to the base. I'm not going to try and pronounce that one, but that is pretty cool. There's one in, is it Milton Keynes? There's one in, there's a lot of old airfields and stuff like that in the UK, obviously, because of the wars. So we got a lot of old army bases. But I've never been to them. Starting how they left off, though, the Mercenaries, they ain't getting much. But the game is still so, like, Milan could still win this. Milan we haven't seen AFB get as involved. Here they go. Balls up. No, not quite. I thought we were not going to have another pick by the Milano team. That would have been kind of mad. Lonzo. Like, some of the Italian defenders are actually doing quite well. I said this in, I think, one of my other videos. The defense is much improved. Because last year, they had the worst defense in league history. Because they tried to rock with an 11 or 9. They tried to rock with 9 Italians. And that was never going to work. But this year, they've improved. We got Gabriel in the middle. He's not affected the pass as much as I thought he would, though, to be honest. Oh, bad drop. Drop in the middle of the field by Helvetic. Bringing up 4th down. That's a really bad drop. You've got to catch that in. Yeah, I do like that incentive idea. Because we do need a way to balance the league. Some people have said about a second tier. Some people said about ELF 1 and ELF 2. But I'd be interested to see people's thoughts on that. I personally don't think they have enough teams. If there was 20 teams and you split it into 10 and 10, you know, maybe. But people are going to be less intrigued to watch a second league, I think. You look at the viewership between the GFL and GFL2, it's probably going to be stark difference. And it'll be the same if you tried to make an ELF2. Especially, say they did it next year, 5 years into the league. I think you stay with one. No promotion, no relegation, but I really like your idea of having more of an incentive to players. Because this, so hypothetically, if we did do this, let's go with Ryan as the number 1 team because they're the current champions. And we'll go with Milan because they're currently the worst and we're watching them now. Milan would have 1 extra American and 3 extra Europeans. They could have an A on the receiver. Those Europeans probably be spent on the offensive line or on the D-line. Yeah, GFL, I agree. GFL is the second league. But the GFL import rules are so crazy. There's teams of over 30 imports. Because I think if you have a European passport, not confirmed. But I think if you have a European passport, which a lot of Americans do, you can just kind of play. Like, can do 2 tiers. Teams in tier cannot exist. I agree. A lot of people are in fan of a second tier, and I'm not. Because I just don't think they have enough for it. And whoever goes down in that second tier, say if we have 20, so we put London, Amsterdam, and Stockholm in the bottom tier because they're just starting. London are going to cakewalk that and just be a waste of a year. I think if you have 20 and then you make another 20 teams, sure, make an ELF 2. But you can't have 10 and 10. Yeah, there are literally no import rules. There are, but they're not real. And watch this third down real quick and I'll read those ones. Ooh. Did he catch that? Oh my god. He's making a name for himself. Number 10. He's doing really well. Giuliani. Linebacker for Kansas. Former Bronco teammate, could be an import quality years. Never scout for you, bro. I'll definitely watch that. I'll be watching the CEFL final. I do like the CFL. CEFL. I'd like to see that with more teams. But like, it's a cup. So I don't know why we can't have it as in a collaboration with the ELF. Because it's a cup game. It's like an FA Cup or a German Pokal. Like, it'd be great. GFL guys cannot sign with the ELF teams. They have an agreement. They do. It's a 3-game ban if you go between the 2 of them. But I have heard rumours that we've had the ELF players go to the GFL after being cut and they've not respected the 3-game, or no, they've just left their team and went to the GFL and they've not respected the 3-game ban. So I think we might have an argument between the 2 leagues of that at some point. Potsdam have no one. Potsdam have so many Americans. It's actually unreal. Germany fell off the board. They lost Newman and his crew. Yeah, that's a pretty damn good landing. Like, pretty damn good assessment. I just think they still got like 13,000 for the Dresden Monarchs game. Dresden Monarchs honestly could be a way to, they get them in the ELF. Remove Milan. Get in Wolfie. Maybe swap out another German team if you're going to bring in Dresden. I don't think that would work, but like you got rid of Cologne, I think it'd be kind of harsh to Cologne. But Dresden is in the middle of nowhere. And so is Schwäbisch Hall. You couldn't put Schwäbisch Hall in the ELF. But Schwäbisch did a really good job rebuilding that team even after Newman and that left. Yeah, I'm a no for the second tier too, man. I just don't think it would work. Yeah. Like, I feel like most people in Europe were introduced to the European leagues by the GFL. And the GFL is like 30 years old. It had so many opportunities to get as big as the ELF, and it never really did. Like, it never got an Amazon deal. It never had good streaming. The streaming for the GFL is terrible. You have to go on the German website, and you can't skip 5 seconds ahead, or 10 seconds ahead, or behind. So you can't reverse or look at it like through a scout. Like, I want to make videos on GFL players, but I can't because it would take forever. Yeah, I know where it is. It's big, but it's like, is there a team near Dresden? My Germany geography's letting me down a little bit. It's Patrick Heiss and fucking nothing so far. But Dresden got what, 13k in one of their home games last week. Like, that's pretty substantial. And you got German, but again, it's not the same Dresden as an ELF Dresden. An ELF Dresden would have a lot less of their players. Yeah, it kind of is. Like, they had so much time, they never got those big as the deals at ELF. The rule set's a disaster because some people don't like the ELF rule sets. I think they're perfectly fine. Like, you start, your label is where you started playing. Sure, it's not perfect, but you're never going to find a perfect system. I think it's good enough of an import rule. 4 Americans, 6 Europeans. Works some more. Works for me. So is Prague. Yeah. So, Germany-wise, not many teams. Maybe Berlin's not that close. The Dresden do have a good youth system too, so they could definitely get a few good guys in. The Dresden game is just once in a year, right? Okay, fair enough. Because like Anthony Tittel, German receiver in Dresden, he's a baller. He could play in the ELF for sure. There are young guys that can play in the ELF. Young guys in the Dresden team that can play in the ELF. Absolutely. I mean, look at how good they were last season. And Stephen Duncan, Tommy Wilson, who's now at Potsdam, which is sad. Austin Mitchell. Nico Barrow. Oof. Nico's a bad man. Like, I think it would be, the amount of imports they have, the lack of transparency around it, because I tried to find out for how much the players get paid in Germany video. I was like, messaging people I know within organizations, like, what are the official rules? Like, what is it written down as? And it's like, it really isn't. Milan's challenge has failed. But nothing's really happened since. It's been another slow quarter. But you run the risk, if you did try and get GFL teams, of being very much too German-centric. Like, I was surprised they added Munich. Like, not the place, that doesn't make sense, but like, Leipzig folded. He didn't get that, did he? Because they just failed in the 4th down. Yep, they failed in the 4th down conversion. Milan give the ball back to Helvetic. I think sneaks have been quite poor this year. They either work or they don't. They're going to give the first down for that? Damn, that's tough. Well, they got a flag on it anyway, but Let's have a watch. Yeah, I don't. Alright, run it short. First down for the guards. Mercenaries. For the Mercs. Yeah, my friend's much back after the Tonko touchdown. Alright, here's what. So, this is from a few of my friends, one of which has played in the ELF. Tonko is going to be the best running back in their squad in 2 years. And Hasavanta might be the next one. Hasavanta is very good, and Tonko is also very good. But Tonko's young. Right. Mercenaries back on the field again. Haven't really got much started since that first touchdown. I think they've really moved the ball past the half. And it easy, you could have thrown a pick six in during one of those plays too. There's just been so many sacks, so much pressure and everywhere. They got 3 versus 5. Right, here we go. Bit of open space. Another drop. Is that Van Elmeren? Why is he playing on offense? Why is Chivaro playing on offense? Chivaro's a DB. Jamal, your team's playing safeties at receiver again. They did this last year. They started playing Beard a little bit at receiver as well last year. Why are they playing Chivaro at receiver? Just, you know. So, hold on. Have they permanently moved Chivaro to receiver? Because I haven't seen him on defense. I just assumed he was hurt. Immediate pressure on the screen. Nothing going for him again. That's like 2nd and 25. Absolutely nothing for this Mercenaries team, man. We might have, I know draws are impossible in the ELF, we might have our first ever draw. Just because neither team decides to win. They run some kind of spooky full wide. I don't know why they're playing Chiv. He's a really good athlete. It's just, he is a DB. Another sack. They're on the goal line. They're right on their own goal line. Now what, 3rd and 30? Yeah, but Prague have got injuries and Ernie Henry is an American. Like, Chivaro's Dutch. And Chivaro's only been in the team for a couple of days. Well, like last week, I think was his first game. So now 3rd and 30. Mercenaries on their own, like, 1. I get players playing a little bit out of position. But Chivaro, as far as I'm aware, doesn't have experience really as a receiver. He's another NFL Academy alum. But they're not throwing it to AFB. So to trying to diversify the offense a little bit, but they're kind of neglecting their best receiver. It's not going to be 4th and forever. Yeah, we've seen players play our position. Willie obviously played quarterback today. Did surprisingly well. I know he threw a pick, but he did pretty well considering the situation. Who else have we seen play our position? Obviously Cisse we talked about earlier. We've seen Beard play at receiver for the Guards last year. Yeah, and then they replaced Jackson with the DB. Fair enough. Fair enough. Can't argue with that. What happened to the people they had last year? Like, they had a couple of, like, Yves, the French-Swiss player. They had him last year. Could have had him back. He's a solid receiver. Playing for the Black Panther team now, I think. With Diron. That could work. Now they didn't need Kev. That's a good sign, and don't get me wrong. But they didn't. It wasn't a need. But Milan, defensively, considering they haven't got Marquise, are impressing me. Gani, they're impressing me. I'm the one to impress. They're going deep again. It's got a step. Oh! We've been telling them, Jamal. We've been telling them. Jamal, we've been telling them for a long time. You should have re-signed him. Giallo didn't work. No. There are other receipts. They should have hit me up, man. They should have hit me up. Barca might as well remove low attendance. The thing is, you can't. Barca and Dragons are a stark team. Honestly, it's just kind of the management. I might get in trouble for saying that. I'm probably never going to get a job with Barcelona, but they don't seem like they want to win championships. I don't know, man. They didn't make an effort for some of their players that they should have, from what I heard in contract negotiations. And yeah, they just haven't promoted it. Madrid have stolen all their thunder. So Milan scored more points in this game than the last two. Granted, it's not hard. But Flores Calderon, when you move him around, oh my god, they had him on Z. They moved him like I fucking told them to. Like they moved him around like we were saying to do the whole first half. And then he scores. It's almost like I kind of know what I'm talking about a little bit. Sometimes, it's a touch. Unreal. Who would I sign if I was looking for a receiver? A difficult part. I know a lot of receivers who are good as homegrowns. But to be fair, they should have had their receivers locked up months ago. Not during the season. Yeah, man. You did say they'd listen. He said that, man. They moved Flores to the Y or the Z, wherever he was at. He went on X. They sent him on a fade. Don't look towards Ken Hike. And then they scored. I reckon someone in that stadium has got my stream. One of my few viewers has got my on the stream. They're like, oh yeah, that's a good idea actually. Hello, someone in Milan. Right, Helvetic needs something here. Need to get the ball to Brown more. Right, they're taking Chiv off. They're also going to send a prayer up. Oh, it's picked off. What's going on? Fanton has taken the ball out of them. Oh my gosh, Milan. What are you doing? You haven't done this in a while. It's a great high point. Aiken ain't looked great today, but his offensive line has looked awful. Truly awful. Hasn't given a ball to AFB nearly enough. Jamal, man, I know you're just the person I know that knows people in Mercs, and you need to tell them to tune into the stream so you can hear my great coaching advice. Because defensively, It looked alright. That big play there was, not great, but they've stopped the run. Patrick Carr's got nothing. And neither does Puda. We have a very poor run offensive line. I really do think this should be the last we see of an American running back. I really just don't think it works. Alright. If they can go 2 scores up. Alright, here it looks like Bronkhurst might be a quarterback who plays off of confidence. And Flores has now moved permanently away from Ken. It looks to me like that's what they've done. Yeah, there's Chiv back on D. When does this game start and what channel? So this game's started. We're in the 5 minutes after the third. And it depends really on where you are. Game Pass is what I'm watching it on because I'm in the UK, so it's not on TV. If you're in Germany, then one of our other viewers will be able to help because they will know the German channels. If you're in America, it's probably going to be Game Pass, or unless you got like an Amazon stick, I think can work, or like a Fire Stick. But I think you'd probably have to. It's a league you probably have to pay for, unless you're in Germany or somewhere, maybe in Italy or Switzerland. But we are currently towards the end of the third quarter. Was that first? It probably was first, but there's a flag on the play anyway. Personal foul. Oh, tripping. Don't see that very often. No problem, man. Do not see tripping very often. Yeah, it looks like Bronkhurst might be a quarterback that plays off with confidence. Because this, like, he picked up a couple. He got that big play. His arm looked good. It's a really solid throw. He goes right back to Flores Calderon, who's now moved away from Ken Hike. Smart move. Are they going to follow him now then? Where's Ken? Oh, they are. They're following him. They've moved Ken over. They've got Chivaro at corner. Yeah, he's looked immediately away. He's gone down the middle of the field and got a 30-yard gain. Yep. That's Jelani. Yeah, he saw Ken, went, nah, I'm good, and threw in the middle of the field. If they did this at the start, they'd be 21 up. Because as good as these linebackers are, they're not pass coverage specialists. No, the linebackers are very good. I want to make that clear, but they're more run-based linebackers. In Europe, most of them are. There's very few pass coverage linebackers, and if they are pass coverage linebackers, they're usually built like DBs. There's Patrick Carr. Deep ball to JFC. He moved over to the X. They avoided Ken Hike like they should have been doing all game. Just let it fly. Deep rainbow ball to Flores, who got a step on the defender. It looks like he's heating up a little bit. Bronkhurst looks like he's got a little bit of momentum about him. I said this game would be pretty interesting. Because now they've what, middle of the field? Just over? Potentially go 21 up? Well, 21-7 up, I should say. They're up 14-7 at the moment. And check the Raiders score. But I'm pretty sure it was final at like 63. Okay, so they scored, so 53 rather. 14. Constellation 1 at the end. Absolute domination. I do still, very, you know, the Raiders, I'm still a little bit, I don't think they'll raise too much in the power rankings. I'll do that tomorrow. And start trying to do the, oh, here we go. Great play. Nice. Yeah, Broncos might be he's a confidence guy. I think we're starting to see what he can do now. That ball was out, that ball was on a line, straight to where he needed to get to. Just outside the numbers. Picked up the necessary yardage. That's pretty damn good. Alright, Broncos, this is what we wanted to see. This is exactly what we wanted to see. He's going deep lefts. Shot up. Nothing. Yeah, nothing on that one, but no, I'm liking this drive though, Broncos. This is definitely getting something. We're definitely getting a lot more comfortable. I say we like I'm part of the team. I'm supporting whatever team has the ball. Pretty much. Whoever the momentum is favouring. Yeah, so now... Yeah, so Flores now permanently on the right-hand side of the quarterback. I think they're just trying to get a hike out of it, because they are throwing left a lot, and having a lot of success throwing outside to that area. They must have picked up on that after it took them a while to get it, but they've started clicking now a little bit. Giuliani, he's had a bit of a breakout couple of games. He's been very solid. Marcus is A. A what? Oh, Broncos? Yeah. Yeah, he's an American quarterback. He's taking a shot left again, just over the head of his receiver. Yeah, Zach Broncos is the quarterback for Milan. And he's an American. He was at D'Angelo State. I'm pretty positive. Oh, you get PI? Oh. Well, mate, first. Helvec's starting to kind of... Starting to give up some yardage now. Starting to maybe fall apart. Not fall apart. Starting to kind of, you know, unassemble. But they're on, what, 29 yards? Man, the run game's just not been there, though. Like, they've had a little bit of movement in the past. But if they had an American receiver, man, I really thought they could be something a little bit better. Because I don't think Patrick's got 20 yards. He might have 20 yards. He's probably a very good running back, but... Feels like Milan were trying to do like a not meta thing and try to be outsmart everyone, and I don't think running back's the way to go about it. Flores. Calderon. We might have another score coming up though. We ain't far away. We certainly are not far away. They're within the 30. Alright, shall do, Marcus. I appreciate you tuning in. But here we go. 2nd and 9. Still the timeout. Big drive here. Run game's still not done nothing. Passing game's starting to formulate a little bit. Mercenaries giving up some yardage. Alright. Timeout is ended. Here they come. There's not long left of the third quarter too. The third quarter's been kind of a long one due to the amount of passes. They're moving their DBs around a lot. You got Strater at quarterback corner now. Walker's out play again. Yeah, they've had Strater move from free safety, strong safety, and corner. Ken Heiger's moved between corner spots. Kev Fortes has come down a couple times. I guess they're just trying to keep him rotating. Try and keep Milano looking. Pick up. What have you saying, man? What have you done? Brother, I'm on call. What do you mean pick up the phone? Talk to me. Talk to me here, bro. Bruce looking right. Rolling out right. Directing receivers. Throwing. Out of bounds. Oh, man. Yeah. Jamal, I imagine, is screaming in front of his TV. Only you, Khaled, could play a game. And then tell me to pick up the phone while I'm watching the game that's coinciding with yours. Alright, but I'm going to kick a field goal here. They do. They have a good defense. They got one of the best corners in the league. Oh, his kick is no good. His second missed kick of the day. The score stays at 14-7. Oh my gosh. This game. Khaled, talk to us. What happened? What happened in the Raiders Dragons game? I saw you got a break up on Chafin, deep ball. Like a goal line fade on the right hand side. Or it would have been left for you. But what happened then, Khaled? Break it down for us. Gets 53 points? 53 points? Kind of mad, you know. I'm just saying. He's aching again. Oh, deflected at the defensive line. I actually can't stress how poor this this Helvetic offensive's been. I'll be interested to see when's the last time Milan gave up less than 3 touchdowns. I haven't seen Egan run nearly as much in this game. Here they go again. Still passing. Still pressure. Because of course there is. I'm not surprised, man. 53 is a tough score. And Tonko's a really good running back. He scored at the end. I was talking about him a little earlier. He's a seriously talented running back. So, yeah. Yeah, man. That's tough. That's tough. Couple adjustments. Everyone needs to be better. For sure. For sure. Milan are up 14-7. Believe it or not. 14 to Milan. 7 to the Mercs. Egan's just ran for a first down. Nice job. It's been a weird game. It's been a weird game. Both teams have struggled offensively. Both offensive lines are terrible. Broncos has picked up a bit of momentum. But it's been a weird one. We've had a couple picks. Aiken threw a pick on the goal line. Bronckhurst threw a pick because he kept looking at Ken Hike for some reason. He really shouldn't have, but he stops looking at Ken Hike now, which is good. Alright, starting the fourth now. End of the third. Transitioning to the fourth. Score is 14-7. Weird one. Oh, we had a pick as well. Aiken actually has thrown 2 picks. Aiken has not been great this game. Also, neither of the receivers. AFB hasn't been nearly as involved. Let's have a look. You said about the... You go on schedule and have a look at the live scores. Or live stats. So we're going to do that now. Let's have a look. See if we can. No ways. No, that's not right. Yeah, I mean, that's not right. That might be for like first quarter. But it currently says that Zach has 17 yards. Now, I know that Zach doesn't have 17 yards. He got like an 8-yard bomb. So the in-game stats are a little bit wonky, but Milan might actually end up winning this game. There's still a lot of time to play, to be fair. It's far from over. Might actually get Milan a few more fans, bit more of a crowd come in if they see the team start winning. That would be good. Actually, Kat, I'm interested to hear your opinion on this one, Kadid. We said about adjusting the import rules, right? So that you get more incentive, or less incentive rather, to be on the top half. So 1 through 2 is still the 4 and 6 imports. 3 through 6 you get 4 and 7, being 7 Europeans. 7 through 10 you get 4 Americans, 8 Europeans. 11 through 14 you get 5 Americans, 8 Europeans. And then the bottom 3 get 5 Americans and 9 Europeans. Oh, Aiken's going deep. And Aiken's picked off again. Aiken's picked off again. Max Defalsis, the French safety. Oh, man. Helvetic bad, man. I'm not going to lie. Just threw it up into Brown, who was covered. He was never open. So Defalsis gets a pick. And now Milan are back on the ball with an opportunity to score more points. They fucked up the field goal last time. It's just underthrown, but he was always covered. He was never open. Oh my goodness. Milan actually might win a game. I actually said that Milan might actually... I said Milan have a good defense. Has to be the same for everyone, but how do you stop these two teams, for example, in just being really bad? Like, realistically, you put Milan against Serge 100 times. Serge might honestly win 100 times. Maybe 99. Yeah, I agree. But I've already said about how I would have wanted a team that wants to come into the league has to have a youth team. Non-negotiable. Whether they're in a domestic league or they're making ELFJ, if you want to be a team in this league, you have to have a youth team. Milano have a youth team. Prague have a youth team. Fire don't have a youth team, but they have Dusseldorf, who are obviously one of the best teams in youth American football in Europe. Like, that has to be a thing. Like, not even if ELFJ, because I know an ELFJ would be too expensive. But they have to have someone in their youth leagues. Every country has a youth league. Even if it's like a loose connection, like with the Rheinfire and Dusseldorf, Panther. Munich, obviously a new team, completely fresh. They should have had to have a youth team. Even if they were like adopting the Cowboys. Because again's looking... That was a bloody good catch. Did you catch that? Don't look like it now. 4th down. Didn't really make the most of that interception. Not really much going for the offense still. Like, the offense does still have a lot of issues. Good defensive play there, though. Like, I would like to see a youth system within the ELF. Especially for teams like Hungary or for the Czech Republic. See that Germany's not as much because Germany have a youth system. A very successful youth system. If you made, obviously, a London team, it would have the NFL Academy. I mean, the whole of Europe has the NFL Academy. There's pretty much a player on every team, as I mentioned before, including you, Khaled. So, Chiv in this game, who's played a bit of receiver. Did he play receiver ever at the academy? I don't think he did, but you'll be able to tell me a little bit better. As far as I'm aware, Chavara never lined up as a receiver for the academy. Okay. Mercs on their own 10-yard line after getting the punt back. I mean, score would be a good start. Haven't done that since the first quarter. Here we go. It's time to do a few more draws now. I think they've needed to do that for yeah, I know, right? I think they've needed to do that a lot more. Do you not get Game Pass as a player? And obviously you'll have like Huddle. But do you not get Game Pass as a player? He don't look great as a receiver. I'm gonna be real. I like Chiv. I think Chiv's a great player, great athlete. He ain't your receiver though. Just throw it into the ground. Yeah, I was surprised to see him in that position. It's not a natural fit. I'll be the first to say. I'm surprised you don't. Message. Alright, 3rd and 3. Another draw. Straight in the middle. They got it. Yeah, they're starting to use the draws a lot more now. I'm surprised you don't get Game Pass as a player. You think that would be encouraged? Right, how am I going to do this? Right, Aiken again. There we go. There we go. Oh, he's still going. Milano straighter. That's like a good 30-yard gain. Spiller, not straighter. Right, here we go. It's the first time we've seen him actually pass downfield with any kind of success since the first quarter. Don't worry, Holden. Don't worry. It's all coming back. That's so unfortunate. That's so unfortunate. I think I had one flag in my playing career. I say playing career. I was not a very good player. I want to make that very clear. That's why scout, because I'm not a player. And yeah, it's like one of my last games. I was like, I've never had a flag. Kind of want to get a flag. So it's kickoff. No, punt return. I want the blockers on punt return. Just kind of like shove someone in the back. I was like, why not? Fuck it, we'll get a flag. Well done, Marcus. Good job. Still 14-7. Egg with a fake. Oh, he's spun around. Thank you very much. Pleasure as always. Second down. To get that big gain, they're immediately drawn back for holding. Brutal. Yeah, man. It's what you got to do. What you got to do. You never had a flag in your game time. Just push someone in the back on kickoff. It's cool. Or punt return rather. Yeah, a little short gain, about 8 yards, if they count it. Haven't seen the French receiver used much since like, the first quarter either. It looked like they've tried to use Anthony Brown at the start, and then stopped using AFB for the rest of the game. And I was trying to find a couple of people around, but I don't see why AFB isn't getting more of the ball. The refs have called something. Looks like a timeout. Yeah, this game's been a very strange one. Yeah. I talked about it a little bit earlier. Kind of mad. Kind of mad, isn't it? Me saying they're going to go undefeated and... Yep. Jamal's... No, I was literally thinking Jamal's going to make so much fun of me when he finds out. Because he was saying the whole... the ELF week 2, like, roundup. He's like, the round 5 have holes. I don't think they're as good as they were last year. And then me, my reaction, saying, no, they're just as good. They really are. They're going to go undefeated and win the championship. They are not undefeated now. First loss since, I think, the Leipzig Kings. 16 games in a row, unbeaten. Gone. And then, of course, a couple picks by Jalen Embry. They had that fumble. Tough. Real tough. Receivers dropped ball. They had Tony Anderson play. That's another player we said about out of position. Tony Anderson played a little bit of receiver today. Dwayne Obi was holding it down for the Brits. He looked great. Willie Patterson, he looked awesome at quarterback and at mostly at receiver. Helvetic was good while he was on. So I feel like the defense could stop the run. And the defense of Madrid just really came to play. Receivers couldn't make separation. Tough one. Real tough one for them. Why is Jack Sparrow at the game? Why is Jack Sparrow on his phone? Like, it's a weird one. Weird situation. But for some reason we've had this timeout for a good few minutes. I think they've challenged something. But it doesn't really seem like much. Right, let me quickly send signs there. One of my compadres. While they do the challenge, I'm going to send something to someone. There we go. Either way, one of these teams is breaking a losing streak. Because I cannot remember the last time Milan won. When did Milan last win? If ELFopedia, I think we need to get, like I'm part of that, like a recent form, like the last 10 games, just W's, L's, stuff like that. Let me have a look. 2023. Yeah, I mean, can't see like that individual seasons. If I search it up. I don't know why they're challenging like a 10-yard gain, to be honest. It seems a bit much. Right, I cannot find their like 2023 schedule wins and losses on the Wikipedia. But they were not good. Like straight up, they just were bad. Alright, we're finally back in. I think that challenge took 6 minutes. And we've still not technically started the game again. Are we going to at any point, or are we just going to stand? I don't understand what the refs are doing there. It's been a while since I've seen a snap of football. Right, here we go. Here we are. We're back. We are so back. Aiken. Oh man, flags already. You've just had 6 minutes of a challenge, and you immediately get a false start. Immediately get a false start. 6 minutes. You had 6 minutes to prepare the snap count, and the receiver jumps. Nice. Nice. Alright, here we go. Once again, 3rd and like 15. No, 3rd and 10 rather. Aiken's going to get immediate pressure again. Runs out right. Throws up a prayer, incomplete again. Like the offensive line is just, it's just bad. Like Aiken can't get second. Stefansson's not fast enough to deal with the edges. I think they got to move him inside. He's massive, but he's just not fast enough in his feet, so you got to move him inside. That's what I would do. We got Rossell, French guard, I believe. They're going to have to punt. They got 11 minutes and some change. They've had defensive stops because... Ooh, that's nearly blocked. We got a return that. You can return that. No, that was returnable. You know, even that's saying you can return that. Oh my god, more flags. We've seen a lot of flags in this end of the game. Refs are losing their head. We had a 6-minute challenge. And now we're just getting flags. I feel like this happened last week. And we had a lot of end of game shenanigans when it came to flags. Even the commentator don't know what's going on. Running into the kicker. You got a running into the kicker penalty? Okay, they just added it to the end of the kick. I was going to say, if you give up an automatic first down for that, that's really, really, like, poor. But they're not, yes, like the commentator said, they're not doing roughing the kicker, they're just someone running into the kicker. Interesting. Very interesting. So it's not roughing the kicker. It's running into the kicker. So they've just added 10 yards to the offense, putting them back, not giving a fresh set of downs to the Mercenaries. which is odd. Yeah, this third quarter's been a slow one to start. I mean, I need to get some of this clock off. There is way too much clock on this for Milan to be comfortable with. It's kind of difficult when the run game sucks. Like, the run game sucks. For a team that invested with American running back, you really think they'd invest with the interior line. And the line in general, which they attempted to, but they lost everyone last year. They lost Runco, they lost Lewis Thomas, they lost Thomas Felicia, they lost Harry Sayer, they lost Francesco Runco, and they lost someone else. Helvetic, yeah. British tongue, innit? I'll pronounce Roslav wrong every time. Oh, I dropped. No, the drop. He got fucking leveled at the end of that, but he dropped the ball. Man. Got swiped. Just so many drops. Yeah, a bit of a late hit by the DB there, though, not gonna lie. Drops and poor runs. It's been the kind of the story of this game, especially in this third quarter. Like, they've had a whole drive and they've taken about 30 seconds off the play clock. I do want to see their running numbers. Right, Broncos again, sacks. Jeez. Oh man, both of these teams don't want to win. Another sack. It's a very clear holding on the offensive line there as well. Majo still got through. Unbelievable. Another punt. Still 10 minutes left on the clock. We've had a lot of this fourth quarter stifled by refereeing. Straight to a good, decent return there. Right. They need a score. Let's get a score then, Mercenaries. Let's see what we got. We've had multiple turnovers. We've had very slow drives where not much has really happened. So we need something to come through. You would think. Eventually. I think they go back to these QB draws. Just try and get Aiken outside, get him a couple yards, keep him safe. They got more than enough time to have multiple. Okay, they're going to just take a shot. Brown, no flags though. Kind of got wrapped up with Perul. Perul? I don't know how to say his name. Very difficult name to pronounce, but he got wrapped up with it. Nothing for Brown. This fucking fourth quarter is taking them a long time to sort out. It's like that Galaxy versus Milan game from last year where it was like 5 hours long. Is that a PI? I don't think that's PI. I think it's got the legs caught up. Passing again, a little bit more space, but it just out of reach again, man. More drops, more misplaced passes. Just a very poor offense overall from the Mercenaries. Misplaced balls, drops, poor running. Blocking's been bad. The offensive line in general is not good. 3rd and 10. They haven't moved a yard and they've taken a minute, less than a minute off the clock. Gonna get first. Gonna get the completion. Towards the outside, way too high. Brown gets hit a fucking lick by Kevin K. Overall, not a good play. They've thrown a flag though. What are they gonna roughing a passer? That's a tough one. Yeah, man. I mean, Khaled said they don't get it. I'm surprised as well they don't get that. I guess they said that they can't share it with people that aren't in the league, I suppose, but you would think that they would get it, especially for playing in the league. Yeah, I know a couple coaches in the league, and I guess they just use Huddle. They probably don't really care too much to watch games that don't have relevance to them. I suppose I doubt the Ryan Fire coaches could be really taking much of an interest in this game. So I guess that would be what it is. But more timeouts. Mercenaries have already burned through their time, like 2 timeouts. And they're down with 9 minutes left. Like, it's a plan. They started alright as well. They got that first quarter score and they looked like they could have had something. But since then, not much. Have they got in the red zone in the last hour or two? I'm not so sure. I mean, the last 20 minutes of this stream has been spent on the last 2 minutes of the game. Which is doing good. It's taking off really well. Okay, here we go. Passed again. They passed a lot. And they sacked again. Sacked again. That we must be coming up to some kind of single game sack record. Surely. Maybe not for like an individual player, but definitely for like a team or a game. Because both teams have got several sacks. Aiken again, pressure again, sacked again. Like, Blair has just got back-to-back sacks. Like, back-to-back sacks. You cannot expect your offense to move when this is what's happening. I think Calaviani also got maybe half a sack for that, but have they just called a timeout? Maybe Milano have? For some reason, Helvetic have been given another timeout. And now it says they have 2, and it says that Milano have 1. Yeah, probably, honestly. Probably. I think Jamal's a little stressed watching this offense, man. Like, if I was a supporter of this team, I think I'd be a little bit stressed too, so I can't blame him. He's not seeing much, actually. He's either fallen asleep. He might have fallen asleep. Because he's watched the team throw, 3 picks? I want to say 3 picks. He had 1 on the goal line. He had a Phantom deep ball, and he had Defalsis. He had Aiken's thrown a number of interceptions. Oh, it was very nearly picked off again, but not quite. Aiken's been poor this game. Aiken's been very poor this game. A lot of these balls have been over the top of the receivers. We saw it again there. Got a defender quite close to him, but the ball is just over Anthony Brown's head. It gets tipped around and falls to the ground. But very nearly another pick. Like, you're right, they're going for a field goal. 4th and 14. I think it's a good choice to go for the kick. Commentator seems kind of surprised, but I think it's a good call. Yeah, it's blocked. Of course it is. Alright, Peru's going to return it for a couple of yards. Oh, man. Neither of these teams want to win, man. I don't even think that ever got over the line. I don't think that was never going over the line. Oh my goodness! So blocked kick remains 7-14. Peru's got the Ronaldo hair, which I can respect. Jeez. Jeez. So now Milano just need to run the ball out. Try and get a little bit more of that clock. There's still possession up. 14-7. They've been gifted, like they've been very lucky to be in this game. But luckily for them, they did manage to take a little bit of time off the clock. They are still going to pass it there. There's a laser and it's dropped again. We've had a lot of drops. Santa Costanillo. I probably pronounced that really wrong, but Santa, I know he's called that within the club. Just been an incredible amount of drops in this game on both sides. Callbacks haven't been accurate. Broncos thrown a pick. Aiken's thrown 3. Aiken's got 1 touchdown through the air. Yeah, I think he'll be fine. I think he'll be alright. Yeah, we all love Jamal. Jamal's no G too. Jamal's been covering the league for years. They're going to call a timeout. So now Milan have no timeouts. And there's still 7.5 minutes left. Clock management, maybe not the best. I don't know, maybe it's just me being an idiot. I'd much rather take a 5-yard penalty than waste a timeout. I don't see why teams call them so freely. But maybe that's just me having not been a head coach. Yeah, I mean, again, Slade's already signed. Cisse, he's not an ELF level quarterback, I don't think. And I think we will see Matt come into the league. But there are other players that are higher ceiling, I think. Someone like, we talked about Aaron Ellis. He's been a vet in this league for a number of years. I talked about Tabor. He's a little bit inexperienced when it comes to actually playing in the European leagues. But I do think we'll see Matt come in maybe at some point. But you are right, the inaccuracy has been terrible. But both of these offensive lines have also been terrible. Jarman's out of the conversation because he's signed. Oh, there we go. Jarman's over in Sweden. And Sweden have a very reputable league, so I doubt they would have him leave. Cisse, I think, was helped with having a really good defense and a really good run game and a really good offensive line. Glenn. He had all-stars in people like Garrett Brandt and Lewis Thomas, the offensive line. He had receivers who did he have at receiver? He didn't have Markel, did he? He had, did he have Markel? I don't think he did. Jean. He had Jean Constant, who was an Offensive Player of the Year nominee. So, Cisse's, he's, I don't think that he could be a quarterback at this level. But Vitali, I don't see any reason why he couldn't come back into the league. I know that he wants to, from our conversations, me and him. So, I think he'll get a call. But with these teams in particular, I don't think any quarterback could be successful with how they are at the moment. The offensive lines are terrible, man. I really would be surprised if this wasn't the or at least close to being the all-time record for sacks taken, like combined for a team, or like for both teams combined. And Milano already given the ball back to the Mercenaries. It's been what, 20 seconds of a drive? Because they just keep throwing it. They keep throwing it. They haven't even tried to get this run started in this fourth quarter. Yeah, he was good, but would you take him over? Would you cut someone like Carlton Aiken or Bronkenhurst for Cisse? And then would you spend that American on another receiver? Like if you're looking, let's look at Helvetic. Actually, let's look at Milan, because Milan have a better offensive line than Helvetic. Helvetic's no one. You could put Tom Brady behind that, the offensive line of the Mercenaries, and he would struggle. Like the Mercenaries' offensive line is bad. So I don't think that anyone could really go into that. Oh, they're going to try and do a Philly. They tried to do a Philly special and they lost. Wow, that did not work. They tried to do a Philly special and they lost like 15 yards. So Milan, for example, well, he would be an E for Milan, which is in itself its own conversation. Do you spend an E at quarterback to get Cisse when you could get someone like Jack Troney at the NFL Academy as a homegrown to play at quarterback? You know? Another ball dropped. If you're Germany and say, I don't know, you get an injury to... Let's use Hamburg. It makes sense, he was there. If I lose Javarian Smith to injury, then I might give Cisse a call if he's fit. But he's also signed to the Lubric Cougars, you said. They're not going to let him go, like, lightly. So he'd have to be on a suspension. 2 American receivers, you bring in... who they got running back in Hamburg? They do have a good run game. The offensive line over there ain't great. They lost Garrett Brandt to the Munich team. It's the Ravens. Third and 16 is incomplete. I think it's a valid point. But neither of these teams are going to be, winning. I think you have to have, if you're going to look at Cisse, you have to be a German team. You also have to have like a reasonable O-line. Because Cisse is an athletic guy. But these O-lines just make it impossible to really play. Cisse wouldn't be good enough under pressure to deliver 4 or 5, 6 yard hits, like laser beams. I don't think he could do that for a team. You'd have to be with a team when he has expected like a longer time in the pocket. And for that, you're looking at someone like... Maybe he could fit into Cologne if Weed goes down. They've got Connor Wellington, who could be he's a deep threat. You maybe get someone smaller, faster to play as a slot. That's another A. That wouldn't necessarily be the worst idea. I think that could work. Yeah, we also got to look at the teams. And Jarman with Berlin. Berlin was just weird. Like Berlin had such an abundance of offensive weapons. They had Max Zimmerman, they had Ron Wilczek, they had Aaron Jackson. And this year they're really good too. But they focused a little bit more on the run. But they've not used Adi Khalifi nearly as much as they should have. But if you like winners, maybe look in some of the Mexican league. As that league's coming to an end, you look in some of the quarterbacks as well over there. Give them a shot in Europe. Helvetic have given the ball back again. So now Milano got the ball again. Decent return here, though. Not bad at all. Milano could be on a On a bit of a potential game-winning drive here. 5.5 minutes. Good field position from Bonnie. We could see a potential field goal, but a field goal kicking for Milan has been bad. They missed a couple already, so maybe they don't rely on the field goal. Maybe they just try and run it. If it don't work, maybe do a bit of an arm punt where you just chuck it deep. I'm not massively familiar with the Mexican League myself. I know they got people like Teron Robinson and Malik Stanley, who are excellent receivers. You got those two playing on the same team, which I think they are in Mexico, with someone like Cisse. That could be something I would be interested in. Like, Hamburg aren't going to let Jarvis go, but maybe if you put Cisse with Jarvis and Robinson, or Jarvis and Malik, I wouldn't, that would be something I would be interested in seeing how that would work. You've got a run game of Hart and Canido, and also with Humadi, so we could back him up with that. But the offensive line, it's fine, it's not great. Hennessy, oh yeah, if this is last season in retirement. I'll be sad if he retires. I like Hennessy a lot. And he's a vet too. Hennessy's been around for a while. Is he? So that's interesting how like my alignments are very similar. I like the British players, and I like the players that I talk to. Yeah, Riley has been in the league for years. Well, in European leagues, because he played for Parma, he played for the Unicorns, played for the Surge, because he's an Italian national as well. So he's played everywhere. He's been all around the block. That's what I kind of like about Europe, though. You got to kind of a lot of those quarterbacks, they come here and they are successful. You get other quarterbacks that don't have the same European experience, but they maybe have experience in better leagues, and they aren't as successful. Look at Levi Lewis. Look at Jared Evans from last year. Like NFL practice squad guys that haven't got European experience that do worse than like Zach Edwards, who was a D2 guy. Let's just use Zach as an example, because Zach looks like an MVP candidate. But Zach's a D2 guy. There we are. Zach Bronkenhurst with a good run on 3rd and 6. That's important. They're getting close to the red zone now. Milano, this could be the final drive. Especially if they can get points out of this. That would be huge. They're getting awfully close. Just run the ball. Keep it safe. Don't fumble it. Milan have a win within their hands. They are so close. Yes, it is. Glad you're joining us again, Alex. This one's a big one. Yeah, it'll be huge. They'll move off the bottom of the power rankings, for sure. I mean, like, the Helvetic team would be terrible, though. Multiple interceptions. Defensively, they've done what they could, but... They just need to run us much. The Helvetic have burned all their timeouts. They just need to do what they can. Agreed. Yes, I agree. That's why I like Cisse. I think Cisse is a good athlete. I wouldn't sign him as a quarterback myself. If I'm building a team, I'm not signing a German quarterback unless he played D1. Maybe D2. That's what I say about the UK, man. We got Ole Miss quarterbacks these days. I don't know how you write those so fast, Alex. Alright, 2-minute warning, 3rd and 11. I'm gonna ask ELF, see if ELFopedia is awake, and be like, when's the last time Milano won? Actually, it might be on like the actual ELF website, right? Maybe on the stats page. While we're in a 2-minute one, as well have a little look. Right, Milano Seamen. Oh shit, why the fuck? Why is it playing sound out of that? Please stop doing that. There we go. The ELF website starts playing sound now, which I don't like. Alright, schedule. Oh, it only gives us this week's, not last month. Last year. Now that is a shame. Justin Glowak, Khaled. He's gone to Almas. No chance. Seamen, so much gusto. You're getting the spirit, bro. That's the spirit. Well done, like Norm Chow. Nice reputation of either show they can win as head coaches. Yeah, I mean, it's a valid point. Yeah, Justin Glowak is a UK quarterback who's just committed to Ole Miss. That's what I was talking about earlier, where the UK gets a team. I don't even think they might need an A at quarterback when Justin finishes college. Like, I would generally put the fate of the franchise in a British quarterback that went to Ole Miss over like a lot of other players, honestly. Yeah, I think it's a very valid point, and we've seen a pretty bad Milano team, but this one's important because Milano have been shite kicking the ball. Very poor kicking the ball, so this is huge. Yeah, Justin. No, Justin didn't play with us. Justin played with he went to Darlington Steam, and then do you remember when Gateshead were really good? Like for like 6 months, they had Josh Wake, they had Hassan Samsir, who's now a D1 player. Well, he will be a D1 athlete. He's a tight end now. He was a quarterback at that point, and they had Justin. But I don't think he played with us at GB. I might be mistaken, but I'm pretty positive that he didn't play with us. Yeah, he went to high school in America, and then he went to Eastern Illinois. Spent a year at Eastern Illinois, then went to JUCO, balled out in JUCO, and now he's gone to Ole Miss. He's British, like British. Right. I need to see this kick too, because we could have, right, are they going to make this kick? They've missed a lot of kicks. This is huge. Oh my god, he missed it again. He's missed again. Oh my god, that's like 3 missed kicks. I look fine. That's just the angle, I guess. It's awkward, but... Oh my goodness, man. Stressing the need for a kicker. You'd think we're Europeans, man. You'd think we'd be able to kick the ball through the posts. So Helvetic have an opportunity to take us to overtime. Yes, I was saying, man. No fucking way, bro. He's missed 3. They could have been comfortably winning this game. They got time now. Helvetic don't need to... Oh, don't worry, they've been sacked. Oh my god. Brothers and sisters, please just have an O-line. Please, just invest in the O-line. I have offered people within this franchise offensive linemen from the IPP that would count as homegrowns, and they said no. I shouldn't be saying that. I'm just heated. But it happened. I said, look, the Raiders did the same thing with that punter that's Irish. I said, I have 2 Nigerian linemen. Homegrown guys. Nope, we're fine. Are you fine? Zachary Blair has 3 sacks in the 4th quarter alone. 2nd and 20. 98 seconds left they got. And no timeouts. So, bad clock management, as I mentioned before. They got a long way to go. And the ball's dropped. Brothers, sisters, catch the damn ball. Oh man, there's been a lot of drops in this game. This one's been a very, very odd game. Yeah, for real, man. Like, too many sacks. And drops. Sacks and drops. Right, the receiver's just been leveled by Zach Blair. Zach Blair's had a great game. Zach Blair is definitely in contention for, like, see you later, man. As always, a pleasure. Zachary Blair's had a great game. It was hard to really take the 2 picks off of Embry to be Defensive Player of the Week. But Zachary Blair's had like 5 sacks, probably. He's had at least 3. Yeah, Aiken out of bounds. 4th and 15. This is the game here now then. Like, even in this drive, they had 90 seconds. Or they had more than 90 seconds. They didn't need to start throwing these deep bombs and like out like these terrible passes. It just seems like a bad scheme too. They had the time to try and find their places, pick their spots. They're playing 5 DBs. Alright, 4th and 15. Drops back. Pressured immediately. Sacked. Oh my god. How many sacks now? Have they generally got more than 10 sacks? That must have been. He got leveled. Horrible offensive line play. Like, this might be the worst offensive line in the league. No, fuck it. It is the worst offensive line in the league. We knew they were bad, but fucking hell. Defensively, they were fine. I'm appalled, Khaled. That's the difference. Yeah, the air ones are definitely a thing. Should go to right there. We go. They're gonna kneel it. It's not fun. It was just pain. It was just like, holy shit! How many times are you gonna let your quarterback get fucking rocked? Don't worry, Jamal, man. It's all right, bro. It's all good. We're here for you. We're here for you. What a weird game. I feel bad for that Mercenaries defense. Offensive line, horrible. Aiken wasn't good, like, honestly. He threw multiple picks, but, you know, like I said, you could put anyone behind that offensive line, they're going to be bad. I'm glad I didn't do that gin bet, like drinking gin if they miss field goals. I would have been hammered. Because, wow, multiple missed kicks, and they still ended up winning the game. Helvetic scored with like the first, Helvetic scored in the first drive, or first, second or third drive. Nothing since. Unfortunate. That's really tough. That's really tough. Of course, we get a spike of viewers now at the end of the game. Hello, everyone. So 14-7. Final score. Milan win. Which isn't necessarily a surprise. Well, I mean, it is a surprise. It's not as big of a surprise as the other games. Let's have a little round up of the score before we finish up. Jamal as well. Yeah, oh yeah. Yeah. Like it was, yeah. I mean, I'm waiting for the video that you drop this week of just like, I'm done with the Mercenaries. I'm waiting for that video. We got games tomorrow. I'm not sure what games to stream tomorrow. Oh yeah, that's no doubt. I'm not sure. I do want to stream the Galaxy one versus Paris. Yeah, yeah, it's a good comparison. I want to watch the Frankfurt versus Paris game because that's gonna be like a title matchup. But I also want to watch the Vikings Panthers. But Vikings are gonna be at full strength, so you know, man, the Mercenaries look bad. That's gonna be in the roundup, that's for sure. I don't get how you don't score more than 7 points. Like they had so many opportunities. Offensive strategy needs to change quick routes for receivers and dump offs and running backs, tight ends, help the line. Absolutely, yes, absolutely. Like too many deep option plays. So they were just trying so many deep plays. It was never working. The deep progressions just weren't given enough time because he was getting absolutely fucking nailed. Yeah, you're right. You're spot on. Alright, so I'm going to see everyone tomorrow, hopefully. I think I'll do the Galaxy versus Paris is the one I'll watch mainly. Because of other teams. It will be interesting, Marcus, but the Vikings quarterback has just been placed in IR today, so they're going to be rocking with a homegrown quarterback. They can need to rely on. Yeah, I agree. Like he threw 3 picks. He's not reading the shorter progressions, and when he was reading the shorter progressions, he was underthrowing or overthrowing up high or too low. This was a weird day, man. I didn't think Madrid would win. I thought it would be closer between Dragons and Raiders because of the quarterback situation, but the Raiders fucking blew them the fuck out. And then Milan and Helvetic have one of the weirdest games of the season. Yeah, so they're going to be rocking with a homegrown. First time in a while we've had a homegrown starter. I think since Cisse that we talked about. It's the first time we've had a homegrown starter since him. And then the Enthroners versus Berlin, which I kind of just see Berlin walking over them. The Enthroners looked okay in the Vikings loss. Like they looked like they could have built off something. And then they played Cologne and they just looked really poor. Like more fumbles. They've had, I think, 4 fumbles in 2 games. And, you know, Mangle's been better than I thought. I thought he would do a lot more picks, but 63 as well from the Raiders. Barcelona Dragons defense, not as good as I thought it was going to be. I thought it was going to be a little bit better after week 1. Sorry, Gadded. But, yeah, the pass rush one. I got to get back and watch that game. I'll probably do that tomorrow morning before the other games start. But, yeah, I'm going to end this one here. We've got quite a lot of people now coming in at the end. But we'll see you all tomorrow, hopefully, for the other games. It's been a pleasure. Thank you for everyone who stopped in. You know I love doing this for everyone and giving you guys to talk into the community. We're a community. So thank you, everyone, for tuning in. You make my days great. I love all of you. I look forward to doing this every time. Yes, rookie callback is their issue. Centurions was a big win. I do think that Centurions and Hamburg is going to be a really interesting matchup. Because Centurions, they got something, and Hamburg looked vulnerable. I was told from a friend of mine that like Hamburg were expecting to make the playoffs, which is interesting how they thought that. Yeah, yeah. Wait, before I sign off, who do the Mercenaries have in the coming weeks? All right, so they got the Dragons, which is going to be a rematch, which will be interesting. And then they got the Raiders. And then they got the Surge. Thank you, Rodney. And then they got Milan again, so that'll be interesting. And then the Vikings, Munich, Raiders, Vikings, Munich, Surge. Like, that's just... It goes from, like, Milan and the Dragons, you know, with the Raiders one's kind of tough. And then you get Vikings, Ravens, Raiders, Vikings again, Ravens again, and then the Surge to finish off your year. That's brutal. They might go 0-12. At best, I think they go 2-10. Maybe 2-10. Yeah, we'll leave that to discussion tomorrow. Thank you everyone again. We'll see you soon. Been a pleasure as always. Thank you everyone for tuning in. I can't say thank you enough. No, Jamal, we need your content. You can't do that. We need you. See you tomorrow, guys. Bye everyone. Bye.